Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Ajme out of Atlanta, Georgia, but we got some folks on with us already this morning that are very important. I got to go to my baby girl first. Mary Perry, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Thank you for asking. Definitely appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yes, I do. Badger.
Good morning. Hope everyone's going to have a beautiful day.
Hey, gonna be absolutely amazing. And I'm high and happy, elephant lady and porcupine proud that both of you are here this morning. And we're gonna jump right into our topic. I'm looking at the time, had a little struggles this morning getting started, but we are started. We're up and running. The motor is on, and the gas tank is full. So let's go. We got oil in the oil pan and all kind of stuff is going like it's supposed to go. And the heat is working too. So we're gonna jump right into this topic for today. Now, I'm gonna ask a question. Mary, I'm gonna go with you first, Mary. Mary, we're gonna talk about today resurrection. Resurrection. But we talk about resurrection of a man because they say men ain't like they used to be. Men don't do the things that they used to do. Men ain't this and men ain't that. And I looked at some study out just yesterday, I think it was day before yesterday, possibly, where it's saying that our men don't have the testosterone that they used to have. And women talk about men are soft now. And we talking about we're gonna talk about the resurrection of a man. How do you resurrect a man to be what he's supposed to be and take his rightful place in society that he's supposed to be in? How do you do that, Mary?
That's a weird question because I don't think any gender is the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So you're saying women are weaker too?
I don't think anybody's weaker. I think women are more independent now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't say independent. I would say they're independent in a way that two women are more prideful now
Mm-hmm.
because women did it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, so I've heard. I wasn't around at that time, but women did a lot at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before it was just they did it all, but they still let their husband be their husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I think women are now at the point where it's like, if I can do it on my own, I don't really need a husband.
Wow.
I think that's where it changed because then you have to think of everything you get fed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you want to treat your daughter to be independent and not need a man. So she hears that, and then she sees social media where it's like, oh, you have sex with him and you take his money and you leave.
Mm.
Then you go on to the next. Cardi B did it. Nicki Minaj does it. It's like all these people are doing it just fine. Every song you hear about from a woman is generally like now it's usually around how to use a man
Mm-hmm.
because we're too independent to need them. So now you just use them till you're done. So
Mm.
then it leaves men in a place where it's like, well, if that's the case, I'm just get mine while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's vice versa too. There's some good women that still have the values of I want to treat my husband like he's my husband, but then they can get mixed up with someone that's not that's now in the new way of thinking, and now it's like the constant cycle of I was a good woman, I was a good man, and I had a bad woman, and I had a bad man. Now I'm gonna do what they doing because it works. I don't have
Mm.
to have no attachment. I don't have to have nobody to answer to because you doing you, I'm doing me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's on both sides, and I think you can't. I think women can't say that men have changed without noticing that we've changed too.
Mm. Wow. Wow. And Badger, she put a lot of good information out there. Badger, she put a lot of good information. It's almost like a tit for tat situation. Okay, I'm going out. Pretty much, I'm going to get you before you get me. Basically, attitude is what it is in the dating scene right now. both you and I, Badger, are married, so we don't know what the dating scene is like right now. Have no idea. But we're talking about the resurrection of a man, Badger. How do you resurrect a man to be back to what he's supposed to be?
Man, dude, she threw out some bars. She put it out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the whole mixture of a lot of things. You know, we have to, as males, there's all that toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
There's, where the whole teaching that we are the primary, we are the alphas, we are
Mm-hmm.
this and that and all these things. And now we're in a society that has pushed people to the brink of insanity.
Mm-hmm. But how do you resurrect a man to be a man? How do you resurrect him to be back where he's supposed to be? Even in a situation where a woman is so frustrated to the point where she said, I don't need a man. I don't need a husband. I do all this stuff by myself. So how do you resurrect a man to be a man and to have a woman safe to take off her gloves and allow him to lead?
Man, that's gonna take a lot of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we
So
I was doing research, and it's so hard for a male to find that decent job
mm-hmm.
to actually take care of their family.
Mm-hmm.
So if the wife wants to be a stay-at-home mom and do all that kind of stuff, that man's got to find a banger job
Mm-hmm.
to be able to take care of their family and the health insurance and everything else that comes in that comes into that. But
So
now, in,
am I hearing you say in order for that man to be the man of the household and to take his rightful place, he have to have the right job. If he don't have the right job, you saying he can't do that?
I'm not saying that either. I'm pointing out the stress, the expectations that have been put on us for a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then inadvertently, the
Is it
stress
fairly
that,
has it been fairly placed upon us?
no,
Okay. Okay.
I don't think it has, because in, we've talked and touched on it many times, of these ideologies of what a man is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to do that. We have to do this or do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I always found it crazy that, once I got older and realized, no, it is actually okay to cry.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to make a mistake. We're not taught these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get put in these categories of, you have to have money. You have to be all these things, and that is extremely stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And then because we're stressed out, we're doing it to women too.
Wow.
So and it's hard to, are there men out there that have broken the cycle? Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when we try to inform others, it's attack on their ego, it's attack on their pride, it's this and that, and then, like she said a moment ago, talking about social media. Social media is now painting a certain picture.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Now that, sorry.
Yeah, hold on, Badger. You putting so much out there. We got a couple. I want to go to Tucson as well. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm well.
Tucson,
I'm well.
we're talking and good
Yes, sir.
good to have you, man. We're talking about a resurrection of a man. Resurrection of a man. What is it going to take for a man to get in his rightful place? Are men so far off course that it's almost is almost too impossible for them to get back in their rightful place where they're designed to be in the family and in the community? How do you resurrect? And a lot of times, like Mary said, a lot of times women, they're so frustrated, man, they feel as though I don't need a man because they've been going through this for so long. They've been going through this thing for so long. So how do you get her even to take off her gloves, and let the man be the rightful place in the household, in the home, and in the community? How do you do that? What has to happen?
I don't know. I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm really not, because if you want to wear the pants, go ahead and knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, not necessarily, and I don't mean it in a what you call that word, a chauvinistic way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I can't get. It's too early to get ugly.
No, it ain't.
Or go sit in the car.
It's right on time,
It's too early
brother.
to go sit in the car.
It's right on
'Cause I
time,
was
brother.
gonna- Okay, well, here's what I was going to say. I just don't. And I watch these mighty women, and I just don't want no woman that's got bigger balls than I do. You know, you just want to show they strong. That's fine. I love a strong woman, but you're not gonna run. You're not gonna run me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just me. It's just me, and I'm not trying to run you. If
Mhm.
you want to make more money, fine. That's good. That's going to be helpful. What would be good is if we bring what we have to offer to the table and work together. That's a relationship that's
Mhm.
healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But don't come to me and say I work just like you.
Mm-hmm.
It's you heading in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can cook. My mama told me a long time ago, don't you let no nappy-headed girl starve you to death. You beautiful, you thick is all great, but you can't cook. Oh, you strong, but you got a nasty house. You don't wash dishes. You want to go out all the time. I'm just confused. Your nails nice, your hair nice, you nice, you got thick eyelashes.
Smelling
But your
good.
kids can't read. Something's wrong with that. Strong woman, strong man too, because here you are and you don't have a job. You want to run something. And you go from job to job. It lasts 3 months and is always their fault. There's nothing wrong with the woman and the man. It's mankind have gone all in the wrong direction. And we don't know how to get back.
Wow. Wow. Stay right there. Let me keep this thing going. And the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about the resurrection of a man. And how do you resurrect a man to be the man that he's so rightfully positioned to be, the man that he was supposed to be? And women, a lot of time, and rightfully so, women has become so frustrated in certain situations that they don't want to deal with the man. They say, I don't need no man. If and they don't want to take them gloves off. They don't want to take them gloves. I put them gloves down and let the man be the head of the household or run it, or take his rightful place in the household. What kind of problem do we have? How do we resurrect the man to be the man that he's supposed to be? Rico, good morning, sir. Talk to me. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just out here enjoying another beautiful new day. Hoping I don't get rained on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rico, how do we resurrect a man to be a man again? How do we do that, man? Because like I said, a lot of times, the men, they say that the men testosterone has dropped so much in the last 10 or 20 years. And women are saying that men are soft now, to the point where they say they don't even need a man. And they don't need a man. So how do we get the woman to accept the man back in his rightful place, take off her gloves, and let him be the man that he's supposed to be? Or are we just in a bad situation, Rico? How do you resurrect a man?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's wild that you brought this up, man, because I just finished making a post about the chickens coming home to roost on these women. They done created some monsters. This feminist mindset that made women feel like they didn't need a man in the household. See, you know, that was a time where men were called deadbeat dads, and it was truly deserved. Because I saw it with my own eyes. But then after the 90s, after Bill Clinton did what he did, I started seeing the behavior change in women, and they started using children as weapons and pawns and tools, and using the court system as weapons, and they started getting this strong black woman mindset. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. And I started hearing the court say, well, the only thing I'm worried about is you taking care of this child. I don't care about what she's doing with the money. I just need to make sure you paying the money. So somewhere they got it misperceived as all they had to do was be able to provide financially. That's all we was good for. So now, I just saw a story where that man, August Alsina, a celebrity who has no reason to be messy like a woman or like a Jezebel, has no reason to be messy like a Delilah and keep up drama, but he did. And he put that out there about sleeping with that man's wife and caused a whole big stir that has a cause and effect. And Will Smith acting out of order at the award show. It all stemmed from his entanglement, quote unquote, that him and that Jezebel had. But see, he was raised by a woman. And for him to even get into that household, befriend that man's son, then sleep with his wife, and then it just put it out there for nobody's business to know, and then come out now and say he gay.
Good Lord.
Now he got a boyfriend. I said way back when that happened, man, you know what? I wouldn't doubt if he was sleeping with that man's son too. But he put it out there about his wife. So, you know, I've been hearing myself, women lately, oh, the dating pool is full of muddy water. Oh, these men ain't the same way they used to be. These young boys, they need some guidance. What a real men at? Where y'all made these boys the men that y'all wanted. Because the old school men, you know, y'all couldn't have put up with them. If I was my grandmama, I'd have did this and I'd have did that. So, you know, I seen a soap opera trend started forming in these women where they started wanting to be like them powerful women that was on the soap operas, you know what I'm saying, like Erica Kane and Joan Collins. They wanted to be the Delilahs. They wanted to be the powerful controllers behind the scenes that could manipulate situations just like they can manipulate you in bed and fake orgasms. So now these are the same women that's teaching little boys how to cope and maneuver in this world.
Now, Rico,
their way.
If that be the case, did we as men see it coming, or we turn a blind eye to it?
We didn't see it coming, but see, there was a handcuff to it. Go to jail if you miss your child support. Suspend your license if you lose your child support. You know, I mean, pay an attorney, but she ain't got to pay for an attorney to come to court to get the child support lowered or get custody. You know, there was things put in place and tools used to create this scenario. I'm gonna say to accentuate this scenario that was already created by feminism. You know, it picked up steam, and now they've created a lot of little Jezebels.
Wow.
And it's come back to the chickens have come back to roost. You know, they felt like, I wish I had a man that could do this. I wish I could have a man that did that. And I see a lot of women now that treat their children like they're men. They cuss them out, dog them out, talk to them like they're no good, especially if they look like they daddy. But at the same time, they are being taught to cope like a feminine woman would cope, to be opportunistic, to look for the man that got the best. So if you're not careful now, you see young men judging other men by the shoes they wear. The things that women used to look at for men to see if they were, you know, up to standard or up to par worth dating. Now you see guys judging other men by the same things and laughing at them when he walk out for wearing the same shoes for a week straight.
Wow.
You know, stuff like that. If they ain't wearing name brand clothes, oh man, look at him, he's still wearing that old cheap stuff. He ain't got these, you know, I mean, they really materialistic and vain. They just as vain as women are. So the roles have switched, and They created some monsters. They really have created a situation where they have to compete with men, not even if they aren't gay, they got to compete with men that move and maneuver like women that fake it in bed.
Wow. Mary, what do you say to that, man? Is it really, is it that messed up out there, Mary? With and can we resurrect him, man? Can we resurrect him, or is it just too far gone?
Well, I think that it is like that, 100% like that. I have two friends actually who was dealing with a girl. They're both good men.
Say it again.
They were dealing. Can you hear me?
No, it was kind of low. Say that part again.
Oh, I said I have two friends that are dealing with women. And they're good men, but they don't pick the best women to date, and both of them, their women have told them, "Well, you're with me, but I'm single." So it's a thing. People are just, I think people are just wanting to live right now, but it gets lonely when you get older. And it gets harder when you get older and you done been, because men judge women by their past and women judge men by their future. That's just a thing. When it's a whole bunch of things about it.
That's a very powerful statement that you just said right there. That's a very powerful statement. Say that one more time.
Which one?
The men judge women, have men judge women, and have women judge men.
Oh, yeah, that's what someone told me. They said that men judge women by their past and women judge men by their future, and that's why a man doesn't want to use women. So like if you're dating and he asks you about your past and your past had, you've been intimate with 50 men, but you're in your 30s, he might not be interested anymore. But if a man was in his 20s and he slept with more women than he was even alive, how many years he was alive, it's like, oh, he's experienced. It's a different standard. But I think where feminism and toxic masculinity kind of meet is that everybody knows the standard and everybody knows what people look for, and you know how people value women and things that it's different. Like, I think feminism, where it gets cloudy, is you want all the same things as a man, but it's like, okay, that's fine, but you can't do everything a man can do. You just can't. I can't do everything a man can do. Yeah. I don't want to take out the trash. I don't want to do yard work. I don't like manual labor, period. That's why I picked a job where I didn't have to do it. So I would want my husband to do that. So I'm not going to tell him we're the same. Now, I don't believe you need me or I need you, because we shouldn't need each other. We should just want to be around each other. We can live without each other. But I think where it gets weird is we've adjusted to each other's toxic standards. And now we're like, oh, it's just toxic masculinity. And he's like, oh, it's just toxic femininity. But it's not. It's just we're reacting off each other. And I don't know who started it. I really don't. But it's like we're constantly reacting off each other. And I guess it's like, well, you don't want anybody like, you don't want a relationship like your parents, and you want to do better. And you don't want a relationship like your friends. You want to do better. But it's the way we chose to go about it was just not okay. It's like, it's not
healthy.
There are things that should be a common standard, but there are things that just will never be, and it's okay, because I can't teach a man how to be, or a boy how to be a man, and you can't teach my daughter how to be a woman.
Exactly.
There's things that you can do that I can't. There's things that I can do that you can't. So why should I then make this word to say, no, we the same? We're not.
Exactly. Wow. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing well. Good morning, family.
Hey, good morning to you, sir. Good morning. Good to have you. Good to have you, Ibrahim. We're talking about how do we resurrect a man? How do we resurrect a man to walk and be in the rightful place and position that he was designed to be? Or have women just become so frustrated with us that she don't want us at all? She don't care whether we come around or not. Are we, what position are we in?
Well, I would say I could care less. I don't need a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, just like the brother was saying earlier, right? You know, my mom said the same thing. Only depending on that be a woman to cook for you.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to cook when I was 6 years old, right? I learned how to do housework, learn how to wash clothes. In my household, I don't want my woman putting her hands on the washing machine and washing my clothes. She can wash her, but if I'm gonna wash everybody's clothes. I'm gonna wash them right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's the way my mama taught. But at the same time, you know, if you make more money, I mean, what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's leadership and there's bull jive, right? Because you can afford to buy this and buy that, right? You're gonna look down on me because all I can do is afford a shack. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think we know what a man, you know, and a woman, and the women tell what man ain't this and man ain't that. Well, hey, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and see if you're the woman that you think your mother was or your grandmother was. Look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you go on stuff like that, right? And I've been through this. You know, my ex-wife, she was a good woman, but she had too much mouth on her. She did everything everything a man could want a wife to be, except the mouth. You know, I love her that one small reason, mouth and attitude. And then she got so used to people telling her what she can do because she got a couple of bucks in her pocket. You know, didn't equal what I was doing. But however, you know, she chose that route, and I let her go that route very easily. I walked out the door, and you know, went straight to the child support people and divorce court, and straight to the child support people, and started doing what I was supposed to do. Took care of my daughter and my family, her children. But and then one thing, right? If you want men to be men, get them away from women, get them away from the TV, take them out in the woods somewhere, and let them learn what people are. That's what Moses did. You know, we keep getting hung up on the slave. They were slave in the mind. He had to take them out of the desert, let them depend on two things: for themselves, for their own survival, and the Creator. You know, that's the only thing, two things they depend on. When they watched all that way, all those trinkets and baubles, and understand the worth of people, you know, then that was it, right? Mm-hmm. We got plenty of women can run the country, man. I was looking. I don't know if y'all seen the Pink and Green 100-year anniversary they had, right? You know, and I'm amazed at all what they did. You know, and as a unit of women, they done spectacular things. They also had kids and they were wives and whatever too. Mm-hmm. But we don't tell that part. All we tell is we see some woman running around and they ain't got nothing in life, and she's gonna die alone with nobody, no kid, no grandkid, nobody. She's gonna die alone and be alone and be celebrating and plaque up on the memorial, right?
But let me ask you this question. I love the points that you're making. The points that you're making, you know, are good points from where you're standing from. But my thing is, I think we're trying to resurrect. We're trying to get the man in a position and to separate the man from a woman. That's not going to accomplish what we're trying to do or the conversation we're trying to have today. We're trying to bring them back together. So how can we bring them back together where it makes sense, where they can coexist?
Separate. Take the boys and men out there and let them learn how to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I would say drop the generation before these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they were cuddled. They don't, guys came out to me. They don't know what manhood is. They don't have to do anything a man had. We had to do just to survive. Not even talking about going forward, just to survive. The women don't know these things. They don't know what it took to survive, just to live from day to day. You know what I mean? That's what we were given.
But brother, we say that, and I'm not combating what you're saying. I'm just trying to I'm the question asker, brother. That's what I do. I ask the question. But listen,
well just one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, brother made a comment about men's hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about guys don't even know about their own hygiene. You see these guys, man, they going around, they look horrible. They look dirty with the faded tattoos and the piercings and the bruised lips and the God knows what else they got, right? Mm-hmm. They look at them as being men of some type of respect. I look at the men with the clean haircuts. You know, the man care enough about himself. I look at the man with all the baubles and everything. The man with a clean haircut, straight got, you know, just a regular dude. They don't know if he's gay or not because he's still a man. Mm-hmm. You know, we forget all of that. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we forget what a man is because we got all these different things. People try to we look in the Bible and pick and choose what we want to pick and choose.
Wow.
A man's supposed to do, supposed to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go out and you take care of a guy about taking care of himself, his hygiene, his health, and you take him out and let him be men, then let him come back to society. It'd be a whole new standard. Okay. You know, I understood what brother Elijah Muhammad did when he got them brothers together, got them brothers out of prison. You know, I mean, I understood what he made them discipline and straight, right? And you see them brothers walking down the street or do anything they do. I don't care if they was out of corner selling newspaper bean pie. You say that's a mate. You point to him.
Okay.
And it's
hold right there, brother. Hold right there. Ibrahim, hold right there, brother. Don't go nowhere. Hold right there. I got to pull some more people into the conversation. But my thing is this right here. And where I'm going with where I'm going, or it's gonna go where I want to go. You know, sometimes the vehicle got to steer itself. But my thing is, how do we resurrect him? How do we get him in a position where the woman could be proud enough, or have enough, have enough? What's the word I'm looking for? God Almighty, confidence in. Let me use confidence, like a better term. Confidence in him that she hold on, brother. That she would take off them gloves, and put them gloves away, and allow him to lead the household and allow him to lead the family and be in that rightful position. Hold on, Ibrahim, I gotta go to somebody else, brother. Ibrahim, hold on, brother. I gotta go. Let me pull some more people into the conversation. Don't go to where I'm coming back to you, but hold on for a second. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart?
I think I just missed what the comment was. What was the comment that was just made?
By who? By Ibrahim?
Yeah.
I don't know who was actually talking at the same time. I didn't hear it either. But let's get back on course what we're talking about. How do you resurrect a man?
This is going to turn into one of those. It's going to depend on on the individual's perception, or at least in my opinion. Because there is so much involved with what a man is supposed to be. Because that's now, because you got to look at.
Do most men know what he's supposed to be?
Well, that's a perception too, because some men think they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And to me, that's going to boil down to belief, perception, and the teachings that they have adopted that was put onto them. And it's an unfortunate, or at least I'm saying it's an unfortunate side effect of what do you do? You know, how if you've run into an issue of stubbornness and things of that nature, because a man is a man. And learning how to live with oneself.
Let me ask you this, because I've heard people say that before, but is a man a man, or is a male a male? Because a male is a male, but because you're a male don't mean you're a man.
I mean, are we getting into biology? Are we getting into perception or belief?
We're talking about responsibility. We're basically talking about responsibility.
So if a person that's calling themselves a man, should they have the same responsibilities as a man should have?
Are they actually being a man, or are they a male? You know, there's a difference between being a male and being a man. Everybody that's born with certain body parts are considered males, but are you a man?
That is a very open-ended question. I actually would like to hear what other people would think before I say what I think you were getting at.
Okay, hold on for a second. Tucson, answer that for me.
Oh, the bell's ringing.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead and get it. Well, look, I don't mind opening the door. Stay out of my yard. I don't want a yard. You ain't got no business changing the oil. Don't put gas in your car. That's my job. It's stupid for me to be sitting in the car and you pumping gas. That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't mind washing dishes. I can cook. That don't take away from my manhood. But I shouldn't be at the hairdresser just as much as you.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with me getting a pedicure. And don't take away from my manhood. But I shouldn't be cute as you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Who wants a man? I don't know. Maybe you do. That you got to share your man with a man.
Wow.
I'll stop right there.
So basically, a male is a male, but all males are males, but are all males men?
Well, I mean, hey, I don't mind you making more money than me,
Mm-hmm.
but I should have a job. I should utilize what I have, regardless to what you have, to make sure that we got a roof over our head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you do with your money. That's why you go to work. But shouldn't you want to help some kind of way? And if you don't, I'm still going to figure out a way. I should have it in me to figure out a way that regardless to whether you give me a dime, we should have what we need.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Rico, answer that question for me.
What's really the question? I'm trying to get what we hear.
Because a lot of times they say that all males, if a person is born with certain body parts, they're male, but are all males men? Because men, to be a man, you got to live up to certain responsibilities and carry yourself in a certain way, conduct and carry yourself in a certain way. All males are males, but are all male men?
Well, even though we don't have this one, probably we don't discuss this about 1,000 times before. That's going to be to each person's perception of what a man is. Everybody's description of what a man is isn't the go-to description. That's just their opinion. You know, so, you know, there really isn't a certain definition, but I think there are certain basic things and roles, you know what I'm saying, that a man and a woman has based on strength and testosterone and estrogen and all of those sensitivity things that come with it, penises and vaginas. I think all that play a part in it basically. You know, now if you want to say, well, what is it? I mean, well, first I'm going to answer a question that your daughter asked. How did we get to this point? Benefits. It started with, you know what I'm saying, the welfare system and giving people certain benefits, and then it moved to child support and not having any regulations in place to make sure that the women were doing right by the children. Because in all of this, is always the children that lose out. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the men and the women, but the children are the one keep losing the opportunity to have a father in the household. So then the child support thing kicked in, and now we have it's a different thing. It sort of slips my mind what I was going to, but it started from those benefits, and it really sort of exemplified itself when you ask, how did we get to this point? Think about what Joe Biden did, the example of what Joe Biden did when he nominated his Supreme Court justice and when he nominated his vice president, or when he appointed his vice president. He showed some entitlement and favor. So anytime entitlement and favor benefits you, it's hard to sacrifice that, because sooner or later, cultures and generations start depending on it and start feeling like it's a guarantee. It's almost like saying, you better go sign up for them food stamps. You might not need them, but they're free. Anything that's beneficial, you know what I'm saying? So now people are stuck on the earned income credit. They're stuck on the child support, and if he get a raise, go up there and get some more girl. You know, that's where we got it started, because we survive off money. And so anything that helps you benefit or survive a little bit more, you might sacrifice the welfare of your children to get this apartment. You might sacrifice the welfare of your children to get a little bit more child support. You might not care if he come around. You just want that check. You know, so it's that entitlement thing that happened. But I can say this, if anybody ever has any confusion about what a man is supposed to do, I think about this. When a man is trying to attract a woman, he shouldn't be putting on makeup and dresses. When a man shouldn't be trying to attract another man by putting on the things that a woman looks at. So, you know, when men walk into a room and they're actually, you know, trying to, you know, be chosen or get the attention of a woman, certain things that a woman gonna look for. They're going to look for them shoes and that clothing, that tightness and the nails being well kept. They're going to look at small things from a man, but they ain't looking for them to have on no makeup. They ain't looking at them to have on no red bottom stilettos. No, that ain't what they want. But right about now, a vain, glamorous man is well rewarded. A dope dealer is rewarded. A rapper that's talking bad is rewarded. You know what I mean? You see the people that's being rewarded with platforms and money and all types of access and benefits to the finer things in life that, like your daughter said, women look for the future. So in the future, you're looking for what's going to benefit you for your best interest in the future. And some of these men look like they might be acceptable or qualified because the future look bright for them. You see what kind of money they make. So we reward these men as dysfunctional. Not we, the industry.
Yeah.
The industry rewards all type of dysfunction. They reward bad mothers. They reward dysfunctional males, confused males, and most of these men you see in high places and with big platforms with a lot of influence probably don't have fathers in their life. Some of them do, but for the most part, I guarantee you, LeBron James didn't have his father in his life. He had to push his mother away.
Yeah.
His mother started sleeping with one of his teammates.
Exactly.
Think about that. So this is the new generation. I really don't know of anybody in the past 40 or 50 years, even before I was born, in situations where you would be raised by a mother that will help you to become successful, and then in the process of you becoming successful, she starts sleeping with your teammates. A teammate that actually end up going crazy.
Lost
and being a criminal, just out of bounds. So I mean, you know, man, it's all over the place, man, and that really shows you the lack of I'm gonna say the value of a man being needed in the household, but not just any man, but a man that has a certain standard and quality.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking about this morning the resurrection of a man. The resurrection of a man. Get back in your rightful position. Get back in the position that you're supposed to be. Get back, be the man that you're designed to be. Is it really that easy? Is it really that easy? Is this conversation more complicated than what we think it is? Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, you know, I guess I was running around a little bit on my last conversation, but I definitely mean what I said. I mean, you know, I don't see representation of a lot of men in today's society, and I guess as Rico and people saying that's by design. You know what I mean? That's by design. I know what my duty as a man is, but you tell a woman that you know, just like brother said, provide a roof over your head. Well, the Bible, Quran, everybody speaks about that, but what roof are we talking about? I ain't gonna give you no Taj Mahal, and we'd be lucky that we go out there in the woods somewhere and get a container and turn it to a nice 2-3 bedroom home and build on it as we go. You know, then maybe we might reach that standard where we can get ourselves wealthy. Have a field, have a bunch of children, different hands to do different work on the field or whatever. You know what I mean? That's why I say that you have to take people away from the society. That's why I alluded to Moses. That's what he had to do. To come up with men and women fit to build and bring up a nation, a righteous nation. He had to get them away from debauchery. He had to get them away from the symbols of ascent. You know, where the angels are because they look like angels because they're wealthy, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, the food that they eat, and the debauchery they involve themselves in, and the ability to command anybody to do anything they want to do. You know, that's the world we're living in now. And we look at this, you know, I don't know how a woman looks as a man. You know, first you have to be a woman. You know what I mean? You know, women look for, like you said, when men walking the place, women look for other women too. You know, going, you know, I see some of these women, you know, being out Uber, being around the city a lot. I see these women, man, and some fine, outstanding women, good job. And they be picking some of the runches and rowdy looking guys. They wonder why ain't no man. Men ain't this, men ain't that. You know, that's what you looking for. Though you got what you were looking for. You know, you start thinking about housing young babies. And now, and it's another thing I was thinking about. I was listening to a program, and they was talking about these these guys that got a lot of children by these different women, right? And the first thing women jump out and say, "Oh, look at this." You know what? But some of the women were just glad that they wanted to have children by men that they thought that they wanted to have a man by. His physical characteristics, intelligence, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's what women used to have. That's what women, I know. We were taught to look at a man for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And women don't, men don't chase women. If you got to chase a woman, you done lost the battle. A woman will pick and choose the man she wants. You know what I mean? And all you got to do is set the standard, set the playing field where men be men. And, and yeah, I know what men are. It's not an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it. I seen when it worked. And I see it now how it's feeling. You know what I mean? You ain't got to bring a man back.
Let me ask you this question, Ibrahim. Let me ask you this question. Do a woman, or can a woman play a part in whether that man is a good man or a sorry, no good for nothing piece of a man? Do the woman play a part in that?
Yes, she can, but you know what? Man gonna still come out of man.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna suffer and endure, and he gonna stay true by a circumstance. And then when that woman want to come back in the door and be right, he gonna open the door for her. Or he can say, no, I got a new woman.
Mm-hmm.
So no, yes and no. Yes, that's what happened today. A woman can change you for a minute. You can be vicious. You can be looking for things that you really don't want or need. But you gotta solve your manliness so that you can attract somebody. And all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to it though, if we want men to be men, so we can all say that this is a man, right? Then we have to let go of all this debauchery and these baubles and everything, and get out there being men. Get them like to feel like what real work looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King had to go to the farm down to Stockbridge,
mm-hmm.
Because they want to know what work he do.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go down there and do work.
Yeah.
He had to shovel coal. He had to shovel coal in the basement with his kids. We call that child slavery, whatever now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hell, we worked in fields,
mm-hmm.
and we thought it was fun. We thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We run and have fun. We do what we do. In fact, that's our own farm, not sharecropping, nothing like that. But we did what we had to do. We brought what we had to bring, and we tried, and everybody celebrated when the harvest come in. Everybody was doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Paganism was called today. Everybody celebrated the harvest. You know what I mean? Because look what we done. Look what the family has done. Look what we brought to the fold.
Absolutely.
The man can look back at the family still, and and praise God.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman can look at my husband, look at my children, praise God, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, I gotta have these shoes, or I gotta look a certain way. How come I can't do this and that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is where we are right now.
Wow.
You know what
wow.
I mean? And the future is ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If you see the future in babbles and things, you ain't looking at no future. You look at catastrophe. You're looking for your own angst because you can't have these things chasing the Jones.
Good deal.
You know
Stay right there, brother.
Have,
Exactly. Stay right there, brother. I'm jumping around, trying to keep everybody within that 3-minute realm a little bit, because I know we're gonna have other people that's gonna come on here, so we gotta, mandate it a certain way. But definitely, I appreciate what you just said. Don't you go nowhere. Stay right there. Mary, what's on your heart?
I think at a certain point, the only thing that can give you your answer is God. So I think you can be swayed a little bit, especially if you love someone and they're hurting you or they're not good for you and you don't see it. But I think the only thing that can really bring you to where you need to be is a good role model and God. So I don't think anything else can resurrect you, because if a woman does it, right? The way I'm thinking about it is like, okay, if you let a woman do it, you're probably gonna be dependent on that woman next time you need to be lifted up again or feel like a man again. Because sometimes you just don't. Sometimes a woman doesn't feel like a woman. Sometimes a man feel like, well, she's doing everything I feel like I need to do. I can't tell her to stop because maybe she makes more than you, or maybe it just would be weird because now it's changing the dynamic and out of nowhere just because of something you feel that you haven't communicated. So I think the only thing that can get you there, because there's some women that lead their house. There's some women that a man's just like, yeah, I'll let her do that. I stay home, I take care of the kids, and she goes to work. Okay, that works for y'all. Some men want women to stay home and take care of the house, take care of the kids, and I'll go to work. Some couples are like, no, we both going to do it because we're both going to keep up with the house. We're both going to keep up with the bills and everything else. Well, that's fine too. But the only thing that can make you feel like a man or feel like a woman is you staying true to yourself and you being connected with who made you, because it's like at that point everything could be going right, but you can just feel like it's not because you have gotten away from yourself and your relationship with God. So I think the only that can actually resurrect a man or make a woman feel like a woman is that, of course, you would want your significant other to help out with that because that's who you love and that's who should love you. But the only person that can keep it consistent is you and God.
Wow. Wow. Badger, what's on your heart, Badger? How do you feel about this now that you had opportunity to listen in a little more? What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I mean, to me, it sounds like what I said earlier. It's going to boil down to people's individual perceptions when being asked this question. You know, so like, is there what would be considered a normality of what a male or man should be or is? Honestly, like, is there a normality of expectation across the board?
Is there a blueprint to what a man's supposed to be? And that goes right back to what you just said a second ago, man. It depends, because some people say there's you can look in the Bible and it describes what a man's supposed to be. Some people say look at the example. Some people say going in the hood, look at the drug dealer. Look at, you know, and these are the examples that people have in their existence, in their circles. Is it right or is it wrong? That's for them to decide. You know, we can outside looking in, we can say yes or no, but it's, you know, you can't tell a person what their experience is.
Right. Their experience is their own.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, a man should do their best to protect, to help, to uplift women, to take care of their children. Are there going to be times where they're in a situation where it's hard for them to do it because of legal nonsense? I used to think that was a bunch of BS until my experiences of late, because there are some laws that need to be worked on. And the need to have an awareness of what could be considered toxic and what isn't. What is it okay for a man to cry? Is it okay for a man to have emotions? Do we push ourselves too hard without allowing ourselves to process what's going on because of we have allowed other people's perception of what they think a man is, which ends up hindering us? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't find it a problem if a man has emotions and in that emotion is finding himself crying sometimes, because that's exactly what it is. People, you know, we were given emotions, and sometimes our emotions become a little stronger than what we want them to be, and tears might flow. It could be, you know, it doesn't make a difference whether it's sad or terrible tears or tears of joy. You know, if you see somebody do something real good, you see one of your kids overcome certain situations in their lives, and you have tears of joy because you're so happy. I mean, is that considered a form of weakness as well? I mean, tears are tears, and they represent different things. Rico, what do you say to that, brother?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason behind everything. And if you really want to know what I determine what makes a man or a woman, it's their actions. And those actions aren't just one action, but a consistent show of action. I mean, well, consistency in their actions that shows me who they are as a person. So now, when you start talking about a man can do some things that can have a huge impact. So I judge a man by that. His impact, his intent, his reason, or his result behind his actions. Because there are different ways that a man can prove to you that he's a man. And then there's some ways where people have an opinion and they'll say, well, you weren't a real man because you did this and that. You know, sometimes they tell you you're supposed to always stand up and fight. But then sometimes it's best to run and fight another day. What you look like fighting 10 people and it's just one of you, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to swallow that pride. But I don't heard people say, "Oh man, I wouldn't have ran. That was you was a punk." Wasn't no man that ran. You took your tail like a yellow dog. You ran. No man run. Okay. So a man's supposed to be stupid and just sit there and say, "Well, I'm a man. I'm tough. Y'all beat the hell out of me." 10 of y'all on one. I got y'all. I know I'm gonna lose, but at least I'm a man. And see, that's that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I done heard women put that in these boys. That's why you see them carrying on the way they carry on. They act like they just ain't got no type of logic in it. There's a way that a man had to think, so he can still be around and provide and protect his family and always come out on top, especially in this world where it's dog eat dog. So I mean, you know, one man might come in and say, "Well, those men that stood around and watched George Floyd die, they wasn't no men." Then somebody else probably came around and said, "Well, you know what? Those took some real men to stand there and watch that and record it, because had they not done that, they wouldn't have went to prison." It's all up to the person, how they feel about how they would have did. And see, everybody has their own rule of how they move and their own principles. So now if you're a crying man, what you crying for? Because there are some things that I can understand as a man you will be crying for. But some things a man might cry for, you're going to be like, "Wait a minute. You got on some panties? What's wrong with you? You wearing a bra for it? You got a mangina? What's going on?" So I mean, you know, there's a reason.
Hold on, brother.
Things have to be
Hold on, brother.
There's a logic behind things.
Ibrahim, brother, come on, man. That's
There
very rude.
There has to be a logic behind things, man. There has to be an order behind things. There has to be a respect. A man does things in a respectful way. You know, they carry themselves a certain way. They don't do things that a child or a woman would do. So, you know, it's about, you know, we have this thing called honor, dignity, and integrity that we expect out of men. That sometimes women might not know what that is. But we got to be consistent. We got to be consistent. And we got to be good examples if we're going to preach it. Because there is an order and respect to things.
Absolutely. And what you said about that woman, that was so powerful, man, because a lot of times, you know, she stand up there, man. My son is a man, you know, I know 5 people would fight him, but he didn't run. He stood there and he fought. You know, and look at him. He okay. Then the next couple of days, that very same person could be somewhere crying, "Oh, they didn't have to kill my son. They didn't have to kill him." Well, maybe if you'd have took up and
you better fight back.
Yeah, exactly.
You better fight back. You better not run.
Yeah. And so, you know, like I say again, though, sometimes, you know, you run away or you can fight another day. Ain't that what they say? Sometimes you got to know when to find that find that trail, brother, and cut that trail. Get up out of there.
Well, so you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Exactly.
So, sometimes the going get tough, the tough get going. I'm tough, but this time I got to get going.
Gotta get going. Exactly.
No wind for them, no wind wash away, no wind does.
See, there go Ibrahim. Look at there go Ibrahim. See, Ibrahim just jump in when he want to jump in. See, I don't know. Look, I don't know what's wrong with my brother, man. I don't know why Ibrahim do that. We done had a conversation many times. Ibrahim, go ahead, brother. You want to sing? Now you want to sing? Go ahead, brother.
Well, I heard a crying man is half a man with no sense of pride. But if I got to cry to keep you, I don't mind weeping to keep you by my side. I ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling. If we don't leave me, girl, don't you go. Ain't too proud to please.
Okay. We had our serenade for today, brother. Now go ahead. Let's get back to the topic. Cause you're gonna sing the whole song, brother. We can't let you sing the whole song. We let you do a little piece of it. Now, talk to me about this, man. Is it okay? Is it okay for a man to run?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's, you know.
How you ever cut a trail? How you ever cut a trail before, Ibrahim?
Oh, have mercy, man. I got overwhelmed, outbeat, and I ran. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna tell, I ain't gonna tell no lie. I stood there and fought when I should have ran. But you know, but I was able to come back another day. You know what I mean? Guy that shot me, you know, he should have killed me. Because I ran after I tried to beat him down, he reloaded. I ran. You know what I mean? Got away. You know, when I come out the hospital, you know, I was on his trail. You know, he made one fatal mistake. He should have finished the job. You know what I mean? He had a chance. But yeah, it's kind of run. And I seen Martin Luther King on a second march at Evan Pelton Bridge. You know, he was leading the trial. He got down there to the bottom and seen all them, the Ku Klux Klan, all them police and the sheriff and all like that. He turned around and ran. Everybody didn't know why, but the next time he came back, they take that march all the way to Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it might look bad, but sometimes it turned out to be what's needed. You know what I mean? You know, to stop the bloodshed, find another route, you know, a better way. But that depends on the person at the time, because sometimes it's a good time to die. You know, that's what you're there for. You know, and if you go there for it, and that's what it is, it's a good time to die. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you can't never get back that trail that you ran from. You might not have set away for somebody else. You know, we got people all over the world right now that's fighting to keep what's theirs, right? And dying in the process. You know, but you know, maybe history will show a better light on them.
Yeah.
You know, than we cast upon people now. So, you know, it's a decision. It's your character. It's you. Sometimes, you know, dying ain't the worst of things. You know what I mean? And it ain't the best of things for a lot of us, but it ain't the worst of things. Sometimes that you made more of a statement dying, standing your ground, than you did when you ran. You know, like them people that stood around George Floyd, you know, they did what they did when as far as they could, but they went even almost beyond that, because they could have been killed in the process too, and thrown in jail for just being there. You know, didn't go that far, thank God, but we would have never known what happened if some of them wasn't there, stood there and took pictures and arguing and saw the cops, right? We not, you know, we might not have seen the difference between that, because we see these videos all the time. Video about that boy getting beat in jail here, right, in Georgia. You know, but now they still trying to say, well, what happened before that? I don't know what happened before that. Is what they were doing with the guy. But this video got sound, this video don't. It don't make no difference. We seen the guy beating the guy more than being subdued.
Yeah.
There's a difference between subduing, but see, that's what I'm saying. Is sometimes you gotta stand your ground. Sometimes you don't. I mean, I have problems. I'll stop. My wife be driving. Come on, let's go. And Dwayne, we go. You know. Sometimes, you know, I might listen to it. Say, well. Then sometimes I might go and say, well, you going about your business then. This is where I'm at. This is where I came here for. This is what I'm here for right now, to see this through, to stop this, you know? So, hey, being a man or a woman is hard.
Yeah.
You know, but it's rewarding and fruitful.
Absolutely.
You know, and we say men, but being a woman is hard and fruitful. You know what I mean? And what women are talking about, they got nothing to do with womanhood. You know, or why would even want somebody
Ibrahim, you changing the topic on this, brother. Hold right there, stay right there, don't you go nowhere. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Badger, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Mary, coming to you next.
It's being a man is not easy anymore, in my opinion. There's we have to start digging into how to be a man in a healthy way. Blaming others, and things of that nature isn't healthy. Are there situations that are going to happen that's outside of our capability or outside of what we would deem as control? Absolutely. Yet to me, it's how we react, or in that situation, our actions is a display of who we are as an individual. And to be honest, I'm not surprised where a lot of things are right now.
Why is that?
We're coming from a very toxic and twisted past. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what is love, what is having a good mental, what is having a good job, what is having, like, everything is being questioned nowadays. You know, it's, you know, we're going from an era of males had to be this specific type of person or had a ideology pushed onto them to the extent that if you didn't do as the people around you expected, you'd be outcasted and all kinds of stuff. So but nowadays it's the younger, or at least a lot of people I've met that's around my age are in the mindset of we are who we are. We're individuals. We can sit there and come together and have discussions, but it doesn't matter if, you know, it's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be yourself. And I still think that's a hard concept for general society. There's these expectations, and as long as people keep putting these expectations on one another, not a lot's going to change. And we need to break a good bit of toxic masculinity. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going in circles. We're going to keep having talks like this because nothing gets done.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Talking about resurrecting. How do you resurrect a man? How do you resurrect a man? Now, Mary, a lot of times, if in certain communities, if a little boy appeared to be soft, if you will, heading on another direction, do the community actually come together and try to build him up, or do they chastise him and talk bad to him, or make him feel worse than what he felt when he woke up that morning? What do you say to that? How
Wait, are you asking me
how accepting do you think the community is for a young boy that appear to be soft, or maybe going in an alternative lifestyle direction? Are they accepting to him, or do they try to build him up, or they just receive him in, or do they talk bad about him and make him feel less than?
Lately I've only seen people talk bad about people that have bad mindsets. Like, we have somebody at work that is determined to not do anything. Like, determined. That's his goal. His goal is to not do anything for these 3 years and then get out. So he gets talked about, but no one else does. I haven't seen I haven't seen that.
Okay. Rico, what do you say to that, man? How accepting would that young man be?
Give me the scenario again.
If like you see a little, you had said something one time. You saw a couple of people. I think you said it was in a barber shop, and the boy he was acting just like the girls that he was hanging around. If a young boy have that mannerism, how accepting is the community for him, or do they just continue to just pour into him and try to build him up, or do they chastise him? Man, you be a man, boy. What you doing? Poke your chest out. Put some bass in your voice. What's wrong with you?
That used to be what happened in the past, even from an outsider. You might have an outside man be like, "Hey, man, tighten up." You know what I mean? Tell that woman, hey, he need a man in his life.
Yeah.
But now you don't see that. You'll see the men talk about it after the woman walk out the barbershop. That little boy, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But like I said, that's that messy, gossiping mindset that men have taken on. That's something that really and truly shouldn't be acceptable. I mean, you asked the question, how do we bring the men back? First off, we put a positive example around them on a consistent basis and know what a positive example is. It ain't just somebody that make money, because anybody can make money and still be terrible. But that person has to be somebody that stands for community, honor, and integrity, family. And once you build that and make that a value system for them, then they can continue that thought process. That way, when they get around people that's trying to pressure them into having sex, they can see from a positive example that your advice might work out best because they see what you're doing and where you're coming from. But it depends on their value system. See, if you don't do anything for your children, and then they go into school and they got children around them, they got everything, then sooner or later they're going to feel like whoever that child is might know a little bit more, and they're going to take their word for things because they're getting something from their parents, material things, attention and information probably that the child that doesn't just get neglected doesn't have. So that makes them a follower because these people have the things that they don't have. So you create that child that doesn't get caught up in materialism. You teach them a standard that isn't based on demand-made desires or material success, but the honor and integrity system. And once you get them to that point and you teach them to stand on their standards and show them examples of the most powerful or the greatest people that stood on those standards, that really stood for something, then when they encounter those situations where they are the outsider looking in, or maybe they're in an environment where they the oddball, they the square trying to fit into a circle. They won't try to form themselves into that circle, but they'll just do what they need to do to get out of that situation and know not to get back in that circle again. But sometimes people will conform because they don't have the right tools in place to know how to adapt and adjust to different situations or scenarios, or they don't understand what it takes to stand up for what you believe in and the reason behind it. So, if you want to bring the man back, the man has a set of standards that even though being a dope dealer might be acceptable, even though a man that's a thug or has swag or a roughneck might be qualified for a woman that's attractive now, and the one that carries himself in a very nice, casual manner is looked at as a lame, continue to be that lame. Continue to look like the man that work on Wall Street. You ain't got to look like the rapper. You ain't got to look like the drug dealer. You ain't got to drive the old school car with the big rims. Drive the car that the guy on Wall Street drive. Look a little lame. Look a little square. Create a new cool and make a new cool and a new trend, based off of excellence and honor. So, yeah, we could bring the standard back, or we could bring the real man back, but there has to be some sacrifices made for the material things that both men and women want. Because I'm gonna tell you something: a lot of men conform to what women like. And if women like men with long hair and braids and dreads, then what you're gonna see is a whole lot of men walking around with dreads looking alike.
Exactly. And that could definitely be a problem because you conforming to what somebody else like, but you're not being yourself. What about the man that you were created to be?
They do the same thing with us. They do the same thing with us. They claim that's the reason why they do the BBL. They really think that's what we like. Really and truly, that it may be our standard, but not to the extreme as that they're doing it now. The makeup might be our standard to look presentable and dress yourself up, but not to the point where you look like you got a whole mask on and now we don't know who you really are. You look like somebody totally different. But once again, you set a standard and let it be made off of honor and integrity instead of superficial and materialistic reasons.
Exactly. That's good. Shanavia, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm okay. How y'all doing this morning?
They get you every time, don't it?
I swear, I'm like looking for my mama to pop out around the corner, like every time you say my name.
We asking a question this morning, and I definitely need to hear your heart on it. We're talking about how do we resurrect a man to actually being a man and taking his rightful place in society, in the family, and in the community. How do we do that? Or have women just given up on them, thinking that men they ain't gonna do right. We don't even need a man anyway. So we're just going to go ahead on and do what we do and let it be what it be. What do you say? How do we resurrect a man?
That's a good question. That's a loaded question that comes with a lot of layers to it. And as much as we would like to have a definite answer to answer the question, it's not. I mean, I feel like it's just like there is no cookie cutter way to me. And that's just me. I mean, I'm not a man. I just know what I have learned to look for in a man and in a mate. But I don't know. Was that Rico that was talking whenever I came on?
Yes.
Okay. So I caught the end of what he said. And I'm just going to ditto on that because I think that when it comes to how to resurrect a man, I mean, like, that's going to depend on what that individual thinks that a man looks like and how that has been modeled to them. I mean, is a man may be somebody to one individual that's just like shoot 'em up, bang, bang, like no matter what, I'm 10 toes down, I'll fight the devil himself if it means taking my life. And whereas somebody else may be like, I want a man is someone that provides, that's intelligent. But even with that, like, what is a provider? Like, I don't know. That one kind of stumped me because it's not just, you can't just give one answer without giving other answers to that answer.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think, Navy, do you think most men, we're not going to say all because we're certainly not going to paint with such a wide brush, but do you think a lot of men want to be resurrected, or are they comfortable with where they are?
I think they do. I just don't think that they know how, or an environment hasn't been created to where they feel comfortable enough to ask for that help. Because, I mean, going back to what we talked about Saturday on Self-Care Saturday, most men are taught, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that, you don't show emotions. And then whenever they come out, like whenever they do things that are aggressive and that are mean and that are not that of a upright man, then it's just like, well, what are they supposed to do? The only emotion that was acceptable and taught to them was anger. But what's under that anger? So I think that some men do, but just don't know, one, how to ask for it, two, how to accept it, and three, an environment hasn't been created for them to feel comfortable enough to ask for it and accept it.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And there's so many different layers on this thing here. Let me go to Captain. Captain, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Cap, we're asking a question this morning, and we're actually having a topic this morning, whereas is resurrecting the man, and how do we resurrect that man to take his proper place in society where he's supposed to be, and have the women gotten so frustrated with the man because it's been this way for a long time that they have the mindset now that I don't need a man. He's not gonna do right anyway, so I don't need a man. So how are we going to get our sisters to take those gloves off, put those gloves on the counter, and let the man step back in his rightful place in society and the community and the home?
What man are you talking about? What man are we talking about resurrecting? I don't see us have to resurrect the white man. I see him being a man. Why, when we get caught by the police, we call him the man. Here comes the man. Here comes the man. So who are you talking about? The black man?
Well, let's take it there. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's because I don't think, like I said, I think that there's no way to resurrect the black man is to resurrect him mentally. He first must know who he is. You cannot look for the black man to rise up to be a man when he's living in a society that is white male dominant. If we were a pack of wolves, the white man would be the alpha. And he would make sure that all of the other wolves know he's the alpha. It's a shame, not all of us now, not all of us. Many black men are waking up to the knowledge of themselves and begin to demonstrate what a man is. First and foremost, we must be very, very clear, Raheem, the definition of a man. If we're to talk about the resurrection of the black man, we need to be very, very clear that the black man knows the definition of being a man. We have, as I heard my sister, we live in a society that does not allow him, or is not conducive, let's use the word conducive of him being a man, because if he was a man, he would be a threat. He would be a threat to the alpha male. He would be a threat to today's society. So you cannot see them rise up when the whites are in control of everything, even his ability to eat, his ability to work, his ability to amass economic wealth. He cannot do nothing until he knows who he is and what he is. Once he knows who he is, then he's resurrected. But he has to be mentally and spiritually resurrected because he don't know who he is. We get on this line and we get many definite. Now the brothers on this line, I do believe they know who they are. You got some extraordinary men on this line. If other people listen to it, you wouldn't hear this kind of men. But the bottom line is, how do you rest? He got to know who he is. How do he know who he is? He don't know. The white man been teaching us ever since we was brought over here in America. Everything of his institutions, even his seminary schools, he has taught blacks how to preach the word of God. And then if you don't preach the word of God, I'm not giving you a license to preach. Everything has been tainted and slanted in his understanding. So you got us don't know who we are and what we are. Until we learn who we are and what we are, you cannot resurrect the black man. He has to be resurrected by God. God is the only one that can resurrect him. That's why the scripture talks the resurrection, where the resurrection is God. Until we know who we are and what we are, we can't be resurrected because we never know who we are as long as we're dominated, as my mother Pete would always talk about, dominated by this daggone society. That's what's that's my 2 cents, brother. Okay. I'll button it up right now.
Now let me ask you this question before we're gonna move on and give me a quick answer on this part here. What do you say to the individuals that say that I can't go with that? And the reason why I can't go with that, because if we keep him down, is only hindering the community. And if we want to lift the community up, we got to lift him up so that every part of every element of the community is running like a fine oil machine. What would you say to an individual that says that to you?
We got to lift who up? Who is he talking about?
Talking about the black man. We got to lift him up, and we don't want to hold him down. We don't want to hold him down because holding him down would hurt the whole community, and so it will put that community in a bad situation. And it would, like a friend of mine said, if you're gonna ride on the cart and the horse pulled in the cart, don't drag your feet because you're making it harder for the horse. What would you say to that? Is making it harder for the horse to pull the load if we keep him down?
Well, the community is down because of the black man. How you say that? I mean, we down because of him. The community is down. The black woman is not a happy woman. She's not happy. She don't have a man. The picking of men are slim. Look at our black women not having a man, not having a provider, not having a maintainer, not having a protector, not having one man who's able to fulfill his duty and make her feel safe in a world that's unsafe. She don't have a man that would stick with her when she have a child and help raise that child until mature. She don't have a man. So if she said, we said, and she's the mother of civilization. If the woman is not happy, then we don't have a happy community, because from the community of happiness come out of the womb of a black woman. She's sad, can't find a real man. They turning in on one another because there ain't no real man today. Yes, man. The community is down because we are down. I don't care about anybody who's going to say, well, I just try not to deal with that. I just, my attitude, Raheem. I just breathe. If it ain't about me, I don't care about all that. I'm tired of all that emotional talk, all that. Yeah, but you put out a challenge. That challenge is, if you're going to be a man, only a man can make a man. Only diamond sharper diamond, steel sharper steel. You can't be what you're not, and you can't give what you don't have.
508-9.
If you come in with date talk, you could put that in a damn baggie and then put it in the trash can, because all they taught you is nothing about yourself. And this whole world has dominated us. When we turn on the TV, look how we're portrayed. To this day, we don't own ABC, CBS, and NBC. To this day, we don't control our athletes. To this day. We talk about the black man. He should be the first to be resurrected. But God is going to get us. He's going to put us on top in spite of. At least that's what the scripture says, and I believe the scripture. He's going to put us on top in spite of ourselves. Wow. God.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about resurrecting a man. Resurrecting a man. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much at the same place, man. I mean, we just have to, re-examine our value system on the way to trying to find out who we are and where we came from. Make that a priority. You see, we're distracted by too many different things and vices and other things that we find that we have made important and made a standard that really contributed to us getting away from it. We started valuing certain things. I mean, you got a lot of vain, materialistic men out here. Trying to overcompensate and find their worth as a man by things that they have. So they want to be the biggest hustler and they want to make the most money, but they still selfish tissue.
Wow.
And they still got feminine ways. And they still low down and dirty, and they'll go behind your back and try to sleep with your daughter, your son, your wife. I mean, you got some men out here of quality that they ain't worth 2 cents, but they might be attractive because for somebody else's benefit, they'll help them out a whole lot to be with somebody that has those things or has access to those things. So, when you start getting back down to what's more important, what you stand for, I mean, don't get me wrong. People do want things in life to make their life happy and comfortable, but there's a balance to it. You can't get too caught up in the vain side of things. You want to be presentable when you go out. Yes, you want to be presentable. But if you can make something from Walmart look just as good as something you bought from Louis Vuitton, what's wrong with the Walmart?
Nothing.
Oh, but I know you did not come up in here wearing no Walmart clothes, bro. Look at you. But what does that mean about the man that got the clothes on? What does that mean about the man that wears the shoes? They may have came from Payless. I don't even know if Payless exists anymore. Shoe Carnival. They may not be Balenciagas. They might be Pumas. Or they might be the Monarchs. You seen that LeBron James commercial where he laughing at the old man?
Yeah.
Because he gave him the old school shoes instead of the new, brand new, expensive LeBron James 20 shoes. You see how they market that to us?
Yeah.
Look at him. I'm laughing at him because he got the old Monarchs. But look at these LeBron 20. And I ain't even give them. Subconsciously, they got us addicted and attracted to the wrong things and making the wrong things important and valuable when we don't really value the right thing. So that's why mothers don't see the value in having a man in the house. And that's why in the past, men didn't see the value of being in the house and not being deadbeats. And it's still with a whole nother motive and intention and system put in place to encourage that human mindset once you control the resources and access to things. When you can say, well, I don't think I want to hire any black people until the government make me do it. Well, how much of a man can a man be to a woman?
Wow.
How much of a man can how much of a provider can he be when he isn't allowed to have the access? And then you still have to deal with that same system that has found a way to maneuver and evolve through the legal system to still make sure that we keep you in a certain place so you don't take us out of our position. So it's a new form of butt breaking, a new form of mental slavery, a new form of self-inflicted wounds and self-sabotage, and all of these different things based off our value system that has us chasing materialistic and superficial things and superficial things, looking at superficial things in people and having children with people that we really didn't sit down and think about the right reason of trying to have a family and what we were trying to build.
Wow.
That same purpose that the people in the past got married for. It wasn't just for the financial benefits or because they looked good and made them feel good in bed, but it was for the long haul, somebody that they knew they could die with and they could depend on to raise good children with and provide for them in more ways than one.
Exactly.
So it's the value system, man. We just got to get away from this materialistic and superficial system, which I think this American dream is built around.
Exactly. Badger, do you think most men, if they are at fault, do you think most men are able or man enough, if you will, to admit their faults?
That's a
Mm-hmm.
hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much. I don't know anymore when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so, but I don't know how many are taught how to do it.
Mm.
I don't think that's something that's taught in society.
Mm.
Neither is introspection.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to me, that's just one of the. It's just one of the many things. I keep coming back to the same things over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
and it's looking on the man. There has been so much said that I'm processing and stuff because I'm going to be honest. I grew up most of my life until like the last 2 years thinking that black men didn't had probably had similarities to white men, but had it better than white men.
Mm.
The
And
stronger strength.
what led that thought pattern?
The amount of black men I saw that were, which I was happy to see, that was taken over the athletics
Mm-hmm.
and have continued to do so. And it's just, I mean, I've learned so much from being on the show of the struggles in so many different communities versus the communities I had the privilege to grow up around.
Mm-hmm.
It's so vastly different. And yes, there's a lot of similarities where, you know, it's a similar struggle on both sides. But I've gotten a
Badger, let me ask you a question. Can you see there's certain pros and cons associated with everything, but can you see a con to pretty much, and not disputing what you just said, but when you say that you saw the black men excelling in sports, that leads me to believe that that's the only avenue that you saw at that particular time, and right or wrong, whatever it is, that black men were excelling in. What about all the other elements of
oh
life?
no. Oh no, but it's to see politicians, to see
Hmm.
lawyers, judges,
Okay. Okay.
to see the ones that have been, you know, going for the Nobel um Peace Prize and all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Okay.
Like I specifically spoke sports because most people are more focused on sports than
Hmm.
intelligence.
Hmm.
So thank you for calling that out. No, I'm very aware of that other stuff.
Okay.
I actually have more of um because since I do so much research, I also know about the black men and women who made contributions to science that never got
Hmm.
recognition.
Okay. Okay.
And I think that's something that absolutely needs to be fixed in our history,
Hmm. Okay. Go with
or
that.
across the board. So, but it's just me being transparent.
Hmm.
You know, yes, I have Native American blood, and yes, I'm part white.
Hmm.
You know, based on genetics.
Hmm.
You know, and it's just sharing my experiences and things like that. Like I never viewed the black community as having that many struggles
Okay.
until I got on this radio show. And
Okay.
then I'm been learning, wait a minute.
Okay. So looking back over your past and to where you are now, how do you see black men now?
In a lot of ways, there are similarities.
Hmm.
Um, with what with being a white male and the things that we've gone through
Hmm.
or still have to, because a lot of my experiences is we get compared to y'all a lot.
Hmm.
Um, and in some men, I've seen it cause jealousy and things like that. And to hear Rico the other day, on Navy's uh, our show that they did last Thursday, and
Hmm.
hearing all the things that he was sharing, and the other gentleman, I unfortunately forgot his name, um, and to hear all the experiences y'all have shared with me, the it's such a drastic difference once racism gets involved,
Hmm.
and to see how biased not just affected a white male or a white man, but also how, the bias and everything has affected men of all races in different ways. Some could say it's worse in this area for this, but then you can turn around and go, well, we're dealing with this, and y'all don't have to deal with that.
Wow.
So it's a tit for tat thing, and then that's where like the pride and the ego and the toxic masculinity stuff starts kicking in.
Okay.
Is where do we find common ground?
Exactly. Hold right there, brother. Hold right there. We gotta keep this thing going. I'm gonna go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. Toya with the teachers join us. I'm going to her as well. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking about, and good to have you, sister. We're talking about how do we resurrect a man? How do we get a man back in his proper position in society, in the household, in the community? Or have women become, rightfully so, to a certain degree, become so frustrated with men? Have they become so frustrated that they got the idea or the mindset that I don't need a man? I don't need a man. I do this all by myself. And how, if that be the case, how do we get her to take her gloves off, put them to the side, and let that man step back into his rightful place in society, in the world, and in the community? What do you say to that, and the family as a whole?
Wow, that is the $1 billion question. If somebody could answer that for me, I don't even have $1 billion, but I'll try to come up with it, because that is what is needed. We need our men in their proper place. I have always said that. I've always felt that. I've always lived that. When I was married, I did everything I could to encourage my husband when it came to business, the family, you can't, a person's mindset they have to be persuaded. The word says, let every man be persuaded in his own mind what he's going to do. So I don't think women can help and, be there as a support, which is what they're supposed to be, a helpmeet. So we can support, but it has to be each man's individual responsibility to rise up to not where society tells them they need to be, but to where God has called them to be. To me, that's what's missing right now. And until we have that, we'll continue to have, because the men have to be the head. That's what they were called. Excuse me, as Christians, the men have to be the head. Other religions, I don't know. But as Christians, the men have to be the head of their households, and they have to help lead and guide the women and children. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. How we're going to get there, I'm not quite sure. All I know is that women need to be the support mechanism for the men.
Do you think all men want to get back in that position?
No.
Wow.
No, I think some men are content with we can say what we want, but there are men that actually thrive on independent women. And I don't mind, I am an independent woman, but that's not saying I don't want a man, I don't need a man. I've never. And I chastise women that say that to me. Well, I can do it by myself. Well, yeah, you could, but is that what God has for you? So, that's just my position.
Good deal. Toy, I appreciate that, sis. Toy, you with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Sis, I need to hear from you. Resurrection of a man, and the way I pointed out last time. How do you see that, man? Or how y'all ladies, how y'all just become so frustrated with men that they got the mindset or idea that they don't need a man because they've been put through so much by men, by us men. So do you think women have the mindset now that they don't need a man? Do the men want to be resurrected back in their rightful position? What are you seeing as all this? There's a lot going on right now. What are you seeing that?
Right. So first thing is, let's talk about the word need. Let's use that word. No, I don't need a man, right? I want one, right? It was created to be together, but no, we need God. right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we got to be real careful with the words we choose. No, I don't need one because I can do a multitude of things on my own. I want one to join me in this journey. I want one to take his rightful place where God created him to be. And let's do that journey together. It's not about a need. It's about what I want. And then I want a specific man. I don't want just any man. I don't just give me anything because God said I'm supposed to have man.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need the king that was created for me. This is not about a resurrection. Let me tell you something. When it comes to me, you're a man. I'm not going to hold your hand. You have to earn or take your place because I am a woman. I don't ask anybody for anything. I am going to come like I come as a woman. And then it's up to me to decide what kind of woman I'm going to be. A woman of God or a devilish, wicked woman. And we know who she's going to serve. So at the end of the day, it's nothing that I can do to make a man want to be resurrected. Because if you're a bum, you're a bum. And you ain't going to get resurrected until you decide to be somebody better. So it's not about what we want. It's about what they want, right? If I get hurt by a man in the past and you try to come talk to me, I'm not going to charge you with his crime.
Exactly. That's good.
Now, if I'm dealing with you and you're a dirt bag and I get another dirt bag and I get another dirt bag. So like at the point I'm in right now, I don't want what's out there. They don't match my swag. I'm at school at a lot, and the last thing I'm finna be focusing on is laying up on my back trying to get somebody something. And we're not trying to do things together. I'm still trying to get things done before I hit 50. So it's not a fact of a matter of do you want to be resurrected? It's more of a fact of the matter is are you worthy?
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Ibrahim, stop that, man. Why you don't want to just bow out like that, brother? Don't do that, man. No disrespect to you, brother, but don't do that, man. We trying to do this in a certain way, man. We got a certain way we do this thing. Let me go to Willa. Willa.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Raheem.
Good morning, Willa.
Good morning, Glow.
Willa, I need to ask you a question. We're talking about resurrection of a man. And how you been listening? You been listening this morning?
No, I just got on.
Okay. We're talking about resurrection of a man. And the men want to be resurrected. Do they want to take their rightful place in society in which where they were supposed to be, rightfully supposed to be? Is that, or have women become so frustrated with men because they've been out of position for so long, they got the idea or the mentality or the mindset that I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I'll go ahead on. I've been doing this thing for so long. Have she gotten to that point? And if that be the case too, how do we get her to take them gloves off, put them to the side, and let the man get his rightful position back in the community, society, and the family? What needs to happen? How do we resurrect? There's a lot. I'm putting a lot out there, but how do we resurrect a man?
Oh wow, Raheem, I got the question. Do men need to be resurrected? And when you say resurrected, do they need to be should I say brought up into the area where they need to be, which is the head? First of all, I think we've lost that. We've lost, and I'm always gonna say this: if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. We got men who now want to be the head, but they don't know how to be. You know, people think that when men would get in relationships, they now think that they're owners. They think they own, especially when it comes to a woman, and then don't have a child bound. Because if you have a child bound, they now think that they own you for the rest of your life, regardless who you are with. And I believe that if we had real men, and I'm talking about some of the circles that I've been in and that I see, that we'll have more leadership roles. Men leading the house the way they're supposed to, and bringing up their young men to be young men and their young ladies bringing them up and showing them how love is supposed to look like. But now we're not living in that kind of world, Raheem. We're living in a world where I see more men who could care less about what's going on in the home, and all they care about is what's going on with this, a selfish kind of way. So yes, your question is, do men need to be resurrected? I believe so. In the circle that I run in, I believe that there are a lot of men that need to be resurrected, Raheem. I got a lot to go with it, but I know I only get 3 minutes.
Good deal. Good deal. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess I always been saying, we heard, like I said, we've been to this conversation a few times, and my thing is about adulthood. Now, adverse to a lot of things, the reason I kind of get a little silly and I'm into that, the reason I get there because my dad, the old man you're talking at the barbershop and everything, he said 2 people run the world, white men and black women. Now we have a situation where, apparently the black woman is running the world and the black men is still in the same place, right? You know what I mean? And when we start talking about men and women, let me preface that. I think a man and woman is the same to the community, is that in their home, right? And you know what would I want with a woman that all she cares about what she has and what she don't have, or can't have children, or don't even care about children, take care of children, or bringing up children. And what do I care about of a man as a man, and all he want to do is pop on his chest and run with a ball, or whatever. And then the families out here, people are suffering. I could care less about a politician that calls himself a man want to lead or join the army, and he cares less about the people he leading or the people in the community. I have met people today that declare they men, boots on the ground, the kings, and they ain't nothing but just like photo takers. I'm gonna work with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're picture takers. They're destroy the community. I work with women to call themselves strong women, right? And I see things that they do that are good. The same thing men, but I think they're toxic. By very definition. Let's be adults. Let's try being adults first, and then we worry about this men and women thing. But like I said earlier, you want men to be a man, take them out where they got to be a man, where they got to survive. Take women out where they got to be women to survive with no men around. You understand? Then we understand the need and the want, right? But what we want, what we call a man, is just simply what we want. Don't even exist. It's fiction. I cannot be a white man on TV. I ain't trying to be a white man on TV. What I got. What I do. I have multiple skills and do multiple jobs. And what I lack in youth and vigor, I accelerate in skill and experience. And yeah, I can pregnate somebody. So what else do you want? You want me to put you in a fine town? You want me to be the fine looking thing in the neighborhood? Drive the best car? Ain't that person? I buy a car because I got a purpose for it. I buy things I have purpose for. I buy clothes I have purpose for it. And it's gonna last a long time. It's gonna look good the same it did 20 years ago as it did today. That's my thing. You know what I mean? But I ain't that man. Ain't that man on TV. I ain't no man Tyler Perry represent. I ain't that man. I ain't trying to be. I never wanted to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Never wanted, I drove Cadillac, but I don't want Cadillac. I don't want Buick. I don't want Mercedes-Benz. I want an American car. A plain old American car. It's got purpose to it. It's going to last me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I keep a car 10, 11 years. So I must look crazy sometimes pulling up all dressed like 9 and then pull up in a van. I'm gonna look crazy on people, but I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good, So that's the kind of thing we got to get back to. Let's be adults, and being an adult, you're gonna be a man or woman, whatever circumstance. You're gonna take the role that you're gonna fit in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you dog somebody, if you want somebody to serve you because that's what you think he should be or she should be, you're gonna have a problem with that because people just disappoint you. I ain't met a human being in life that if you put them on a pedestal, they would not disappoint you.
Mm-hmm.
Never have.
Wow.
Never have.
Good deal.
You know what I mean? Like what somebody said, put God first, but understand that if you love somebody, you gotta love that person as well as you love God or better than. I had a sister told me one time that she married me because she loved God. That was God's thing to do. And I looked at her and I thought about it. I said, next. You know what I mean? But it was good what you said, but at the same time, what they got to do with me? Mm-hmm. What about myself? What about what I need? My needs, right?
Wow. Stay right there, Ibrahim. Stay right there, brother. Let's go to Toya with a T. What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me. Cap, coming to you next. Toya, you there? Okay. Cap, go ahead, brother. What's on your heart?
Well, you know, brother Raheem, everybody that's on this line is saying the same thing, basically. Saying the same thing. We just add a few little this, little that. But it's very hard to define yourself as a man when you're really a boy.
Mm.
You can put men in the room, but you got boys that's perpetrating to be men.
Mm-hmm.
All males are not men. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All males are not men, but all men are males.
Yeah.
Let's make it clear.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're a male
that
don't mean you're a man.
Exactly.
All right? I don't care how old you are. You could be a boy 70 years old, 80 years old. How are you going to be a man? Which the most important part of being man, to be a man, holler at me now, is to be responsible. Accept responsibility. If I'm sitting here and I'm single, I ain't got no woman. And I ain't doing nothing. All the thing I got is a dog, a pit bull. And then I'm going to say, with a man that has a woman and a child, handle responsibility, I'm a man? No, sir. No, sir. You got to sit at the little boy's table.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't taking care of no responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You run from it. The difference between a boy and a man is that a man runs to responsibility while a boy runs from it. Because I'm married. I'm a married man. And because I'm married, I'm a better man. Why? Because being a man is the challenge of taking care of my wife.
Mm-hmm.
It brings out either the best of me or the worst of me. But I won't run. I become a man because I have to handle this responsibility. I don't run from it. I got to take care of the mortgage. I got to take care of the car. I got to take care of the electric car. No, take care of my children. I'm a man. You're going to put me in the same room where somebody ain't doing that and he's a man? Get out of here. Because you got a big whatever and you can handle women on that level, get out of here. You ain't taking care of no damn responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You running from it. I'm a man. Well, see, let me say this. See, when I had a woman, used to be don't make no more honey.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you ain't got a woman because you ain't a man. You was running from your responsibility. And my poor sister keeps saying, yes, the man has to be spiritually resurrected. I'm going to say that again. I want to make it perfectly clear what Captain Dennis saying. He has to be spiritually resurrected. The black man's example is God.
Mm-hmm.
That's the white man. Our example is God. A woman want a godly man, right, sister? You want a godly man.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm obedient to God, then the scripture says then a woman should be obedient to man. But if I'm not obedient to God, the woman ain't going to follow no fool. She just ain't going to follow no fool. And she's very strong and dominant. Yes, she is.
Mm-hmm.
Until she find a real man. She don't want to be strong and dominant. She wants the man to take the rings in, honey. Can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me be a woman, please.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is she's willing and ready to take those gloves off.
Yes. If she find a real, she ain't gonna take the gloves off for no boy. Let's make it real.
Yeah. Absolutely. You
got to bring your A game when you find that black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because she gonna look at you. She gonna test you. She gonna try you. She gonna see. And when she see that you meet, and that's why she can't find a man. Women don't turn on to other women sometimes because there's an attraction they have for women. Sometimes women turn to women because they find it convenient that they both have something in common. Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because there ain't no men. But we sit up here and want to define what a man is. And they ain't even married. They ain't even got a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Get a woman, then you can really define it because that's where you're going to be tested at.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be patient with her? Can you be a provider with her? Can you be a protector with her? That's how you come out as a man. You need a challenge. You can't be challenged in a single. And you happy being single because ain't nobody asking for no responsibility. Ain't nobody saying this. Why don't you shut up, dude? You talk too much, Ibrahim. Shut up sometimes. Respect.
Now, you know what?
Hold on. Both of y'all. Hold on. Both of y'all stop.
Shut up.
Both of y'all. No. We're not gonna do that. Y'all, both of y'all stop, man. It's about to go in a different direction. Let's keep this. Let's stay where we at right now. Hold on. Hold on. Both of y'all. Hold on for a second. Let Let me go back to Toy You with a T. Toy You with a T. I came to you earlier, but I think you had stepped away or something. What's on your heart?
Did. He was preaching. He was preaching. You hear me? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But don't get it twisted. That same role model, that same mentality is the same thing for a woman. You don't get no
hold on, Ibrahim. Hold on, brother.
That one thing right there, respect. Whether you're a man or a woman, when you don't know your own lane and you don't have self-control, that's how the meaning starts to deplenish. That's how you become less of a man and less of a woman, when you don't have self-control over yourself. Being a man and a woman is about having self-control. That means when certain things happen, sometimes people say things and you can't respond. Sometimes you have a time when you're supposed to go. You need to know that. And that helps build the character of a true man and woman. Not just busting out saying something. Nope. So here we go. Let's take notes from the morning show. But no, Captain was preaching. You're absolutely right, right? Because keep in mind, most of us I was raised by my daddy. I know how to fight. And if you can't fight, I don't want you. I run fast, I jump high. If you can't run fast and jump high to me, what I look like bowing down to you, being led by you, and you are not even competent enough to do the things that I can do. I was talking to a young man the other day. He was talking about how, oh my gosh, my mom should be helping me at 31. I want to be a producer and make music, and she won't even help me. I'm like, bro, you're a grown man. It's time for you to help yourself. Well, you don't even understand. I was like, bro, I could have done things too, but I couldn't wait on my parents. You don't understand. You don't have as much potential as me, but you can barely read, you can barely count, and you can't comprehend nothing. So when it comes to us maintaining our roles and positions, first of all, we don't know them. Second of all, we've had piss poor examples on what real men and real women are. And for three, most things have been so misconstrued in the home. When you're raising your kids, some of us don't even want to be what we are no more. Why would I want to be a boy when I just saw my mother dog out every man that's ever come through this door? Why would I want to be a female if every man my mama got used her for sex, beat her up, and did all kinds of terrible things and took her money? And then, yes, I can get with someone who may be of the same sex that gives me what I keyword need. See, so we got a multitude of different things going on here on why we not stepping up to the plate. We got a multitude of different things here on why we think people, or why you may think you are a man or a woman and you are not. You are a male or a female. And it's hard to take a hit and say, well, I work like you, and I got a house like you, and I had kids like you. What make me? I'm not a man. Well, considering the fact maybe you don't teach your kids nothing. You're not a man. You cheat on your wife. You're not a man. You don't make sure you take that check home and make sure stuff is done. You're not a man. So just because you make notions like animals do and make babies and feed them, don't necessarily make you a man or a woman. So first and foremost, we got to get our definitions right and know the real meaning of one, first of all. Second of all, you need to take a reflection and look at yourself. I mean, for real. Don't just look at other people. Look at yourself in the mirror, analyze yourself, question yourself, and ask, do you fit that description? Because a lot of us don't. And then finally, if you are not doing your best, your absolute best, that you have children and you have looked in the mirror and acknowledged that you're a man or a woman and you're not doing everything you can to put that into your kids, right? The ones around you, nieces and nephews, right? That's the last definition. You are not a man or a woman if you're skipping out there doing everything for everybody else except for your own. Period, point blank. So we can keep walking around like we zombies, y'all, but we need to get these real definitions down so that way we can raise some real people around on this earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Go on this rotation right here. We're going to go Rico, Mary, Cassandra, and then Badger. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, if you want to, go ahead and let Miriam go first, because it's been a second. Then I go after her, because I did want to hear what she had to say again. It's been a while.
Okay, Mary Perry.
I am here.
What is on your heart? Talk to me.
If I start yelling, I'm outside with this, and I apologize.
Nope, you just want to yell. It's okay. It's okay to yell if you want to. Go ahead and yell.
No, no, I don't want to. Where are we now? Because it kind of got weird for a second.
Yeah, it got a little weird there for a second. Things happen. Things happen. We're still in the same place, talking about the resurrection.
I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to know, like, where are we talking about right now?
Still same topic. The resurrection of a man. Do men want to be resurrected? Now, let me ask you this question: do you think men would, if they have faults, do you think men are man enough to admit to their faults, or would they hide behind them?
I think if you hide behind it, you're not a man. Because
wow, that's good.
You were grown when you did it, so be grown and say that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's how I feel.
That's good.
But I think too. I said, was that who just said something? I think it was Toya. Honestly.
Yes.
Zeus, no, come. I think someone said something about how children don't have role models. I don't remember who that was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a book. I put a quote in the chat. There's a book called "Cry Like a Man." It's a really good book, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I read some excerpts of it. But one of his quotes to it. It said, "I long to see men free themselves from emotional incarceration, to see their minds renewed, souls weaned, and relationships restored." And I just think that kind of like sums up what everybody was saying. That it's not really. I think, in a weird way, you can be a man, but you can be a broken man.
Wow.
And I think I don't like when people say, not that, I mean, you can say what you want, but I don't particularly like to say, I'm not dealing with a man, I'm dealing with a boy. Because if you're grown, you're a man, in my opinion. I just feel like you're a broken man. And you can fix that. But I feel like it hurts a man more when they know that they're a man and they know that they're going through things or they're not where they need to be, and you say, well, you're a boy. I think that hinders them more than saying, okay, you're broken. You're a broken man. You need to figure that out. Because I'm not taking away that you're a man. I'm just telling you, like, you got work to do.
Exactly. That's good. Sometimes a lot of work, Mary. Not just a little bit of work. Sometimes a lot of work. But let me go back to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Some told me it was good I did that, man, because I was headed in that direction. I think you have good men, bad men, toxic men, but they all are still men and women. You know what I'm saying? But I was listening to what people were saying, and once again, it goes back to, I know that is whatever your perception is of what a man is. But see, to me, it goes a little bit deeper than if a man has a wife or if they're giving back to the children, nieces, and nephews. It depends on how he has that wife. Because I know a lot of strong, tough men. They can whoop anybody, but sometimes they whoop people just because they can. Is that a real man?
No.
I know some very good providers. My stepdad, a very hard worker, good provider. I mean, gave us the finer things in life. My mom's still with him. He abused me. She's still with him. She ain't got the relationship with her grandchildren because she conformed to his way, because he still got some messed up ways. And even though he know they messed up, he ain't changing because he is who he is. Is he a man? He got a wife. I know some men been beating on their women. I know some people that's putting some very bad information into their children and nieces and nephews, like being Crips and Bloods and strippers and gang bangers. And you get what I'm saying? Have sex a little early. Throw your oats. This how you get them. This how you talk them into get. You know what I'm saying? I know these people too. So it's what are you putting into them? What determines if you are good or not. How you are functioning. Once again, it goes back to the honor and integrity, because see, we could have the image and the possessions. I talked about materialism and superficial things, but we have an image. And so we like this image of what a man is supposed to be. And we have this thought process that a man is supposed to have things and possess and control. And they go overboard and they abuse women and control women and think, that's my woman. I'm a man. I got me a woman. But how you treating them? How you treating them kids? Is she cheating on you? So, I mean, really, it's a lot of people thinking they're men based off of these standards that's been thrown out there of what you ain't or what you are, if you ain't or if you are, when really and truly you could be doing those things, but you still putting off a bad message, putting off a bad energy. So it gets a lot deeper when we want to determine what a man or a woman is, or a black man is. Now you ask, do we want to be resurrected? Well, if I was raised by a woman that told me this is what a man is supposed to do, but even though this ain't what a man is supposed to do, I might not know I need to be resurrected because she told me this is what a man's supposed to do. If you the real man, and ain't nobody else had no impact or no effect or had no input on what a man is supposed to be, I just got to take her word for it because of the way it's set up. She won't even allow a real man in my life. You know, I was talking to a woman yesterday, and it was funny because I seen this myself. Different people that I met that told me that their mothers dated guys that gave them attention, proper attention, and they left them dudes because the dudes was giving them too much attention and weren't giving them all the attention. They went, I mean, they really went with the guys that was all wrapped up into them. And then, I mean, if they came and thought about the kids, hey, let's take it. She was thinking about herself.
Yeah.
But you know, man, I'm gonna go back. This thing is intentional, man. You know, I talked about standards and this and that, but I'm gonna tell you, when they really lowered the value system of what a quality black man and a black woman was, I seen it with my own eyes in live action. Walking through schools when I was young during Black History Week or month, what it was back then, I used to see all these things up on the wall with people's pictures with Benjamin Banneker and Sir John Truth and Frederick Douglass and all of these leaders and historical black people, figures that stood for what a real black man and what a real black woman was and had a real purpose. And then all of a sudden I started seeing it change to Muhammad Ali and Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor and Michael Jackson. I started seeing somebody told us that our important black people and leaders were paid entertainers and athletes. So you heard what Badger said earlier. He thought we had made it for them because we had been doing in athletics, but we've been whooping folks since Jesse Owens. But see, even in our thought process, not that with white thought process, but outside thought process, even in our thought process, we value the entertainers and the athletes more than the people that really serve the real purpose of what a real man and real woman for a black community is supposed to be. So, and then we want what they have because if they successful and they the leaders, and then they go on Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous and MTV Cribs, and they put this other image of what you got in the possession you have of what being a real man or woman is, then that's what the value system is set on. Because now we want to be like them. So being like Superfly might be a real man is. Being like Scarface. You know, being like, I mean, you just name all the different people that have been valued and looked upon as somebody that we should have on a platform or a pedestal. Looked upon as an example. And these people really don't stand for anything honorable or integrity anymore. It's all about materialism and superficial possessions. So I think it really goes down to getting beyond just the look and the image of things and thinking about the quality of what's been the energy that's being put out.
Absolutely.
You know, I know a lot of people that's married. I know a lot of men with women, but they treat them women like garbage.
Absolutely.
And then women stay. I know a lot of strong men, they can whoop anybody. But some of them whoop anybody just because they bullies, and I don't think they're real men, even though I might not be able to touch them with my hand one-on-one.
Wow.
He might be more of a man than me if we put our hands up, but really and truly, he'd be less than a man to even just want to instigate a fight with people that he knows he can whoop on. But in some people's mind, that's what a man is in a toxic way. So, yeah, it's deeper than just, you know, putting it out there like that. It's all about what you put, the information and the energy that you're putting out.
Good deal. Stay right there, brother. We got to keep this thing moving. Let me go to who I had up next. Cassandra. Then we're going to Badger, and then we're going to circle our way back around. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I appreciate what Rico said, but I especially appreciate what Cap said, because he definitely, I think, speaks even from the perspective of what a lot of women feel. I've never been that person that wanted to control a relationship. like many women, I had to stand and be the head of my household when I didn't want to be the head of my household. You know what I'm saying? I wanted, a man that would, stand up and be who God had called them to be. Always was open to that. There's not any, even when I was dating, there's not one person that I ever dated that would tell you that I was this takeover aggressive woman. That's not who I am. Assertive, yes. Passionate, yes. But I know my position as a woman, and I love being a woman. I love being a woman. There's nothing masculine about me, nothing. So I'm hoping that through this conversation that some older men and younger men would recognize that women are not looking just for somebody to take care of them. You understand? We're looking for somebody that will walk with us and be leader, be head. That's because that's who God calls you to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
We touched on toxic masculinity, and today there's been so much awesome info been put out there today. The teaching of what it is to be a man is something I think that needs to be implemented instead of these ideologies of being gunslingers and all this toxic, harmful mental ideologies. And explaining what it means, for like some of the people's word usages of a man being head of the household. Actually don't just say it, but teach it. What exactly does that mean? Teach how men can have feminine energy, but that doesn't mean to go overboard. It's learning that as a human being, who are we in this day and age? And it's something that I feel a few of us have hit on, is we're having to redefine what a man and a woman is. It's all over the place right now.
Yes, it is.
And to me, it comes from the toxic masculinity that's been being put through this country for the last 400 years, 500 years. And it's going to take time to break those cycles, to undo those things. And in that period, it's a transition phase. And I think right now that's where we're at. Is there's a massive transition going on. There's been so many things that that has been done to different groups of people in different ways that has been so harmful that people don't. There are those of us that know, and the ones that are struggling don't have a lot of teachers.
Wow.
And man, dude. Sorry, I'm trying to hold back some emotion.
Heavy conversation, brother. Conversation.
It's very heavy because, those of us that grew up in abuse, a lot of us made choices to not let that abuse define who we are. Like, I had to learn that being a part of being a man also is learning how to process our emotions in an effective manner that don't cause us to go do insane things. Protecting your family doesn't mean you're trigger happy and shoot anyone that says or looks at something wrong.
Absolutely.
The definition of what being a protector and a warrior and what a man should be is not commonplace anymore. We need to get back to that.
Good deal. 508. We got a few minutes before we get out of here. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Go on this roll right here. We're gonna go P, Cap, Willa, then Ibrahim. Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Top of the soon to be gone morning to you and the family DKM Radio Morning Glow on Facebook, the world, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Lock your stuff up. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. You've been listening there for a minute, man. I want to let you listen so you can get abreast as to what we was talking about. What is that? I mean, we talking about resurrecting the man. How do we do that? Are the women just so frustrated that they're not even interested in this anymore? They don't need a man. What do you say about this whole? How does this whole thing look to you, brother? How do we resurrect the man?
As a psych op and social engineering, and steering the masses of the people where they want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals are born as what they are, and they're destined to become the fulfillment of what was meant to be at birth. And society, the social engineering and the structure of governments and systems and function, the preference, the preferred behavior and activity is overwhelming on your psyche and in your development, and it sways you off track from being who and what you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are dealing with now is a switching in the society of the moral compass, the codes, the codes of conduct, and the behaviors. A man traditionally is a provider, a protector. He's a teacher, not that he can't be taught, not that he can't have assistance and protection. Okay, he's one that should stand in the gap, one to assist, one to encourage, represents a strength source in the foundation of the premise of family, in the structure of a community, in the foundational structure and strength and wisdom and knowledge of a nation. But here you have a effort in the world now to change those. The man doesn't have to be the provider. The man doesn't have to be the protector. He doesn't have to necessarily be the one that's there to provide knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, or encouragement, or be there for development. So this is the problem. So when we talk about the resurrection of the man, good morning, we're talking about the resurrection of the premise of your being in its natural essence, manifesting to its full potential without any outside unnecessary influence.
Good
deal.
So
you talk about a great task now. You're talking about a great task because we have now accepted men not being men, women not being men. I mean, being women. We've accepted that now. We've accepted, the compromise. It's not about the superficial because you can go lift a bunch of weights and you swole up and you can put some bass in your voice. No, that's not what makes you a man. No. What makes you a man is being able to articulate, comprehend, think through, navigate, strategize, be emphasized, right? These are things that make you a man. Just because you don't have a bunch of money don't make you a man. If you're out doing the best you can and you're trying and you're there for moral support, for emotional support, and giving your little $35, $50, $100, $300 is all you have, but you're doing all you can, you're a man.
Good deal.
Okay.
Good deal. We got a caller. We got a caller from the 248 area code. Caller, hold on for a second. We're gonna come to you. Stay right there. We got a rotation, and after the rotation, we're gonna come to you. Got a couple of people that we got to get. And if you have a few minutes, please stay with us. Okay. 248 area code. I think it's Ryan. Okay. Cap, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Well, man, I love what Pete said. Pete, man, my man's in there. Let me see. I want to say this to Rico. Rico, there's exception to every rule. I'm not saying that all men that's married are men. You just sit there and show a good example. I don't consider them a man. Any man, even though he may be white, married, if he abused children, he's not a man. I want us to ask the question, Raheem, if God, the supreme ruler of the universe, what would be his definition of a man? I want everybody listening when I'm answering. What would be God's if God gave us the definition of a man, will it be anywhere where we at? Because the Bible said God created man in his likeness and after his image. So who is Dennis' example? Dennis' example not Superfly. Dennis' example not the dude next door. Dennis' example is God. God would not abuse people. God would not abuse children. God would not beat a woman. God would not run from it. God created. I say God is the example of man. All that other stuff, just throw it away. Throw it away, man. If God be our example, then we have to obey God. God bound the man and the woman for a reason. If we happy being single, cool. That's your game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna be proud to tell you I've been married 4 times. Now either I can give you advice or you don't take my advice. 4 times? Well, if it take me 4 times to get it right, I never run from marriage. If I didn't get it right on the first one, I go to the second one. But every woman that I married played a role to get me to be the man that I'm becoming. I'm not what I should be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be. And my wife, I'm becoming a better man every day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't stop being a man. You don't stop growing. I'm not perfect. But we got to be very clear. Don't define a man based upon the world's definition, because they changed the definition.
Mm-hmm.
Define a man based upon God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about. God is the example of man. If we don't take God and all that other stuff, Superfly, Gangster, the Crips, the Blood, the Man that Live Way, man, they ain't men. God defined what a man is. I just want to make that perfectly clear.
Good deal. Good deal.
No, I'm not kickstart on no single man. But if you want to be a man, make God your example. And if God is your example, you ain't going to be happy staying single. Because he bound us to have a woman so we can go into her and produce life. How you know what you are until you get, and if you had a bad relationship, get back into another. Don't quit. I done had 4. Don't quit. Get back in the game. You're brilliant men. And there's a woman out there looking for you. But you happy not because you had a bad relationship? Get out of here. Get back in the game, man, and be a man. And let God, if you follow God's example, you have a good woman. But if you want to follow the world example, having money and you think you got knowledge, you got a degree on the wall, man, you could take that, put it in a garbage bag and put it in the trash can.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
That's
good deal.
all I got to say.
Good deal. And we're gonna keep this thing going. And Carla, we have not forgotten about you. We coming to you. Willa, what's on your heart? Then Ibrahim, then we're going to the caller. Willa?
Yeah, Raheem, it is so many layers under this conversation.
Absolutely.
I could take what Cap said and I could put it in a jar and I could preserve it like a jar of peaches.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say this. God did create man to be the head. He is the head. But the thing where they miss it is they're not putting their hand in God's hand. So they don't know how to lead. But I want to just comment just a little bit about what one of the callers said. See, I like what Mary said about she believes that there are broken men. And she's absolutely right, because the Bible says that when he created the woman, he created us as helpmeet. And then he went on into Corinthians and he talked about a virtuous woman. See, that virtuous woman, even though she would have a broken man, nobody on the outside would know it, because she's making him look like a man taking care of her household, sit in the right places to say, I'm the woman and you're the man. So see, you got to look at this under the broke, because we're not perfect people. And there are a lot of broken men who don't want to say that they are broken. I like what Cap said. But when you got a good woman, let me tell you something, Raheem. When you got a good woman, you won't even miss the weaknesses and the brokenness about yourself, because she's going to make you feel like you're the king that you are. That's what I want to say, Raheem.
Good deal. Good deal. Ibrahim, what's on your heart? There, you got the caller. We got to go to the caller. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Okay. I'll again express a go. I like what Rico said. And one thing I like to compliment you, brother, is your daughter, Mary. Now, see, Mary showed that she had a father in her life. And she had a mother in her life, right? Everything she say, but she thinks she's going to be affected by opinions of people's opinions and these different books and stuff like that. But she was actually raised in a good environment. And you can almost tell the people on the show that had a good mother and a good father was raised by a mother and a father. Even Rico, even though, we say about his father, but he don't hate his father, but you hate his mother. You know what I mean? Oh, well, he probably don't hate him, but he mentioned this over and over again. So I just was mentioning what I hear. But you can tell the difference, right? You can tell the difference. My father wasn't no saint. He was a killer. You know what I mean? He was on the streets. He made a life for his family. You couldn't tell by his family, except the people that knew him on the street. Then when I tried to follow him in his lifestyle and feel miserably, but he was a man. He took care of his family. He fed people. He raised other children that wasn't even his. And he had other children on the side, but he always put man responsibility. So when anything happened to me in life, the responsibility that I was taught by him and dedication to the family, to your death, that's what's most important to me. That's what I excel at and live through a lot of terrible situations that I haven't been foreclosing a lot of stuff. But that always exceed because of that. I don't exceed because, I did pimping and all like that, right? And I know what people love to hear. People follow you. And I've seen preachers, I can preach like anybody. I've seen preachers lead people into hell, into death. You know what I mean? And be mistaken. But one thing I do know, that when you see about what a child with fruit of bears. You talk to my children, they might hate me and everything, but one thing they say about it, that he put food on the table, he kept a roof over our head, and he showed us how you can do things on your own and make things on your own. They'll say that much about me because all of them emulating that, except one or two. Another thing I like to put in front of you is that responsibility. We talk about, man, we come to fix up. We take things out of the Bible, that we don't take it. We take it out of context. We don't listen to the whole story of it. So we take it out of context. And we say, oh, this is what that means, and we could be so wrong. We're so wrong. I think we could be close to hitting it, but we way off the course, right? So I like to say to all the brothers and sisters on here that, you know what I mean. Hey, it's always an example. It's there right in front of you, what a good life is. But if your community means, if you want more from a man than you want for your man in the community, then you don't want a man. You want a servant. You want somebody to love you and tell you. That's what I want. I want somebody to love me and cherish me. But I also want a woman that when I go out, that she go out in the community, I go out in the community with her. We're about them people in the community, right? We love them as much as we love each other. We love ourselves. We love our own family.
Good deal.
I ain't heard that with people on here.
Good deal.
Maybe one or two. Well, I heard from Rico. I heard it from Brother Badger. I heard it from you. But I've heard very few people go that, right? Because it's always about me, I. This is what I want. This is what a man should be. You don't have a clue. You don't even have a clue what a woman be like somebody said, look in the mirror. I did a porn, it's on video, about broken mirrors, right? Look in the mirror, right? You are what people respond to you around that. You can trust that, right? But if that's all the people you seeing around you, then you need to go out and find a fresh group of people.
Good deal.
If all the people see a broken and go find a fresh group of people. Just like you come out of prison. They tell you, get away from the people that brought you here to prison. Go out and find a fresh group of people.
There you go.
They're going to keep you out of prison.
Stay right there, brother. Stay right there. I got to go to, we got somebody from the 248 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, you can call me T.
I'm sorry.
I'm calling from Michigan.
Okay.
Actually, I just happened upon your show on Twitch, and I'm watching y'all, and I really enjoy this conversation.
Thank you. Give me your name one more time. I'm sorry. Give me your name one more time.
You just call me T. It's the easiest.
T. There you go. Got you.
T.
Okay, got you. Okay, T. What's on your heart? We're talking about resurrection of a man. How do you feel about that? What do you stand on what we said? Did we miss a few things? Did we hit on a few things? What do you think about the resurrection of a man?
There's a lot of so much that y'all are talking about is spot on, and I 100% agree. My husband and I, we've been married for 20 years. We have 4 beautiful kids together, and I have 2 older children from my first marriage, which that's a whole other story. But I didn't grow up with a good role model as a woman. My mother, she has 5 of us from 5 different men. So you can only imagine the sort of model that I saw coming up as a woman, but also the model of what I needed to look for in a man, which was not a positive one. It was not a good one. So I grew up thinking, with this mentality that this is what men want. This is the men that way. This is the way that men are. This is all that men are good for. They're always going to treat you bad. They're always going to be a certain kind of way. They're going to be abusive. They're going to, if they ain't hurting you, they're hurting your kids in some form or another.
Wow.
That's the mentality that I grew up with. And not to get into the whole backstory, but, I grew up with mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse in my home. That's the way I grew up. So what did I have? What did I know about what I needed to look for in a man when that was the model that I had? So how do we teach men to be men when that same thing is happening in their homes too? Right? So what do we have to do? Like in my husband and our situation, we both grew up in broken homes. We grew up in broken homes. We grew up in abusive homes. When we got together, we were both very broken people. And it took a lot of time, a lot of years for us to come to an understanding. And I don't advise anybody to model their relationships after this, but for us, what it ended up coming down to is we understood where each other were coming from. We understood that pain.
Mm-hmm.
We understood that there was something broken in both of us, and it took two broken people to make a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what worked for us. He learned how to be a man by me expressing my needs to him, what he needed to do as that breadwinner, as that head of our household. I need you to do this. I need this from you. This is what needs to be met. And it took time. It took conversation. It took effort. But what I always tell my friends, my girlfriends, everything, I said, love should never be hard. That's the easy part. But you should be willing to learn from each other. I have 5 girls. I have 1 son. My youngest is my son. You know, he's a boy. He's going to do what boys do, right?
Yes.
He's gonna have his outbursts. He's gonna, you know, which he has done. He'll hit his sisters and go off like that. And I've had this conversation with him since he was a toddler, in terms that he could understand. Said, this is your role. This is what you're supposed to do. Do you think you're doing that right now? When you're hitting your sister, when you're, you know, acting out because you're angry at a video game or whatever it is, that's not what you're meant to do. You're here to protect and to look after, because one day you're going to be bigger, you're going to be stronger. And those are the key, you know, just in generalizing, obviously there's more to those conversations, but generalizing, that is what we're raising. I am not raising just a boy to be a boy. I am raising a boy to be a man.
Absolutely.
And that takes effort. That takes those conversations. That takes something for him to model himself after. So, you know, and women today, they think that they can do it all, right? They think, oh, well, I don't need a man. I don't need to do this. I don't need, you know, I can do it all. But then you see it on TikTok. You see it on YouTube. You see it all the time. Then these women come back 20 years later crying. I don't want to do it no more. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of trying to do all this by myself. Now I need a man.
Absolutely. Wow.
Or when they talk about the draft, what do you see? You see all these women on YouTube, suddenly, oh, well, to avoid the draft, let me go clean something. Let me go change a diaper. Come on. No, you wanted to be a man. You wanted all the rights that a man has. But at the same time, you're tearing down the very foundation that you're now looking for.
Absolutely.
And now you want to step back? Women need to learn it's okay to be strong. It's okay to be powerful. It's okay to have your voice. But you need to step back and let your man shine.
Good deal.
And
Stay
that
right
is
there.
something my husband and I have definitely learned over the years, is we have these very specific roles.
Good deal. Good deal. And I want to say this to you.
Before she get off, I want to ask her a question.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna let you do that. Hold on for 1 second. I want to say this to her as well. We're here every day. You know that we're here every day, Monday through Friday. Now, we won't be, because of Thanksgiving, we won't be here Thursday and Friday this week. But normally we're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock a.m. until 10 o'clock. As you can tell, we go over from time to time, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you come back. Make sure you come back and be a part. We love to have you as a part of the conversation that we have moving forward. You're more than welcome to come in, and I applaud you. The situation.
Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. And I applaud you. I applaud you on where you and your husband are right now. You know, y'all went through what y'all went through in your personal lives individually, but collectively y'all came together and made it better for yourselves and for your family. So that's absolutely amazing. Rico, you want to say something?
Yeah, you know, first of all, let me say what Badger said was key earlier. If you don't have anybody around you consistently to show you the ropes, then it's going to be hard for you to receive this, you know, and that was the reason why I made the comment earlier, because this is not a telephone conversation we have, and we have an audience. And some people may hear these interpretations of what a man is and go out there and say, well, yeah, that's a man. You know what I'm saying? A man's supposed to have a wife and this and that. A woman's supposed to have a husband, but you ain't supposed to have a husband at the beach. Just like a man ain't supposed to beat a woman. So it wasn't speaking to Captain Dennis. It was just for the audience to understand that, you know, there's a definition still to what a good man is and what he does. But the sister that just finished speaking, man, sounded like she grew up in a situation my son grew up in, T. And I really wanted to get some more in-depth, first-hand information from somebody going through that on just how much of a unicorn she is, how much of an exception she is coming from that situation. And she said a key word: submit. How much sacrificing did she have to do?
She didn't say that. Yeah.
How much sacrifice in my marriage?
Yes, as far as changing the way you were brought up to conform into a better way, because sometimes it might not be as easy for you to see the light, but somehow y'all came together and saw the light. So how much of a sacrifice did you have to make based off of your previous programming?
Oh man, it took quite a few years. It took, on my husband's end especially, it took patience, and it took a whole lot of love, because I had to learn how to love myself, right? And he had to learn how to love himself. But how do you learn how to love yourself except by the example of love? That's what it took. It took for me to step back and go, this man's not hurting me. This man's not beating me, but I'm acting out, right? I'm doing all of those same behaviors that I was taught, that I grew up seeing. And it took him being not in a harsh way, but it took him in a way being forceful, so that I could step back and realize, oh, okay, that's not the way to act. That's not the way to get the attention, the love, the things that I want out of somebody that I want to love me. This is not the way to do it. You have to be willing, like you said, submit. You have to be willing, whether you're the man or the woman, you have to be willing to step back and reassess from the inside out. Because if you can't do that, you're never going to grow. You can't grow if you're going to be so stuck in whether it's a learned behavior or something that you believe based on what media is showing you, what all of these other people are doing. You have to look inward and bring that outward.
Good deal. That's beautiful.
And that's how you grow. So there is definitely sacrifice, but it has to be self-sacrifice. It has to be something you want to do.
Absolutely.
And if you're not willing to do that, then you definitely can't change.
Absolutely.
So it did take a lot of time and effort, but but it was for the better, right? Obviously it was for the better, because now we have this beautiful dynamic and it works, and we're giving our children something that's so much better than what either of us grew up in. And it's a rare thing. Like my kids, our oldest four, she's 19, she'd come home all the time, even in middle school, and we would have conversations. She was one of the only kids in her school that had both a mama and a daddy, biological parents in the home, that actually loved each other and had a healthy relationship. All of her other friends either came from broken homes, or the parents were constantly fussing and fighting, or they were, drug addicted, alcoholics. There was something bad going on in that home. It wasn't a stable environment.
Good deal. Good deal.
So it took a lot of definitely a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice. But like I said, always for the better. It just takes that that you have to be willing to step back and assess.
Okay. Stay right there. Cause we actually got to get ready to get on out of here. I want to go to Cassandra before we leave, though. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I appreciate the sister and what she said. It almost sounded too familiar, because of the brokenness, that I went through. Same thing, 5 children, 4 different daddies. So I definitely didn't have a good role model to follow. And that's where a lot of us are. And it's sad that, even today we have to reflect back and see some of the damage that was done and deal with it. Because what happens is a lot of times broken people don't deal with the brokenness. And if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. You have to confront whatever that thing was that hurt you so bad and gave you these broken pieces, so that you can put those pieces together if you can, or either rebuild completely. And for some people like me, I needed to go all the way down and start a new foundation, which was in Christ. That's why I'm a Christian, and rebuild who I am as a woman. So thank the sister for calling.
And then you can find the man that you need.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Absolutely. But thank you so much.
Good deal. Well, we're about to get out. Let me go to Willa before we close out. Willie, we're gonna close it out with you. Willa, what's on your heart?
Man, that was awesome, Raheem. That was God sent right there, because that was your solution. Because your second question to the resurrection was, how do we do it? And she explained exactly how you do it. When you are willing to go through all the pain and everything that you know that's not right with each other. You got to have two willing people. You can't have one person to say, oh, well, he's going to change, and or this other person say no. You got to have two willing people in order to accomplish that flower that she fed. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for sending that message. Thank you.
Good deal. Rico, brother, what's going on? What's going on at 3:00 today? Rico, you there? Okay. Cassandra, what's going on at 3:00 today?
Could y'all even hear me?
I don't know.
No.
There you go.
No.
Look, I don't know. Rico knows. I don't know what's going on.
No, we couldn't hear.
Y'all didn't hear me. Let's do it.
Okay. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's show and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. No, first time you did it, brother, we couldn't hear nothing you were saying. It was completely silent. I heard crickets.
My speaker went off, and then my mute came on too.
Yes, sir. Well, hold on. Is she here, Rico? Is she here?
I'm here.
Yes.
Hey, Raheem.
Sir.
Yes.
Can I make the announcement for tomorrow real quick?
Not yet.
Okay.
Willa!
Raheem, come on, let's go.
Are you ready, Willa? Are you ready?
Raheem?
Yes.
I am so ready. I am so ready to receive his word. Come on, Raheem, let's go.
Well, you know what? I ain't got one more thing to say, Willa. One more thing to say. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, Raheem. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go to the throne of grace this morning. First, I'm going to ask God to decrease Willa and allow the Holy Spirit to go forth where your message should be heard and not mine. Thank you, Lord, for waking us up this morning, giving us another day and another opportunity to get it right with you, Lord. Father, we thank you so much for all that you do in our lives, Lord. Father, we thank you. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace. Father, you said that you've given us all a mustard seed of faith, a mustard seed that would move mountains in our lives. And Father, I thank you for that mustard seed. Father, I thank you for what you do, oh Lord. Father, I can't praise and honor you enough. I thank you, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to touch each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Father, you said that you see the heart of your children, Lord. And Father, I'm asking you to touch them in a mighty way. Touch them, Lord. There's been ones that lost loved ones, Lord, that are hurting, Lord, that are not feeling life, that are not seeing hope. But Father, in the name of Jesus, we know that you are our hope. We know that you're going to give us the victory. Father, we want you to help us, oh Lord, by allowing the Holy Spirit to dwell in our lives, Lord, where we can speak life over our bodies, life over our situation, life through those courtrooms, life through those hospital rooms. Father, we thank you in a mighty way.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, I just love you, honor and praise you, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for Raheem and his family, Lord. Father, keep them safe. Keep allowing the angels to be surrounded around them in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. And glory to God this morning.
Yes.
Amen. Thank you for the message.
Yes. Amen. I want to go to Key T.
Yeah.
I want to know, and we extended an invitation to you, sister. Are you coming back?
I probably will if these are the conversations you are having. Absolutely.
Absolutely. We have a different topic pretty much every day, and like I was just saying yesterday, tomorrow is what we call Way Out Wednesday. We have open dialogue. We don't have a topic on Wednesdays. We actually have open dialogue. We just go around. We talk about a lot of different things, and it gets very interesting. We do have your number here, so I'm gonna lock your number into our Rolodex if that's okay with you. And
that's perfectly fine. Yeah, for sure.
Great, good deal, and thank you.
Raheem.
Yes.
Tell her that just like we drafted Willow to be the prayer, she ain't got no choice. She been drafted coming in making comments like that, man. She just came in here and knocked it all the way out the door, man. She ain't got no choice but to call in. We're gonna find her and call her back. She don't put that number on your phone. We gonna call her. Where you at? Where you at?
Y'all gonna be calling me like, hey, we need to have you.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, I'm warning you. They're not joking. That's how I got into it.
Exactly.
I've been here ever since.
Yeah, now you're coming here giving that kind of good information.
Yep, part of the family now.
You're gonna run you hours now.
Yep.
So
they gonna hunt me down.
so basically what he's saying.
Locked in. No, I love it. I love it. This has been a really good conversation, and like I was saying in chat, this is a conversation that needs to be had. This is something that needs to be talked about. This is something that needs to be discussed. I mean, and man, if you have this conversation again, please have this conversation again.
Absolutely.
Because there is so much depth to this and so much more that needs to be, put out there and talked about. And it could go on forever.
Absolutely.
So, I really do appreciate it. I really do.
Well, we like what Rico was saying is, you're a part of the family now. So consider yourself family and come on back. You got to come, no matter where you go, you got to come back to the family. You got to come back home. So make sure you make your way back.
I will come and check in for sure. Absolutely. When did y'all say this is on?
Monday through Friday from 7 a.m.
Monday through. Okay.
Yeah, from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So every day, Monday through Friday from 7 to 10.
I will definitely be back.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Now, we're ready to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank
Hold on, Ronnie.
Yes.
We forgot.
No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're just gonna flow like we do. We got it. We got it, Badger. I got you, brother. See, through my whole mindset, I was in my zone, and kick the ball off the court, Badger. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:25. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Then we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Talk to you tomorrow. God say the same. Have a great day. Take care of each other. Love ya.